So in rounding up, like I said, I am not going to speak as a politician. I'm going to speak as a professional in politics. Nigerians have the right to speak out if there is a flawed process. And I think that we must not take that right from them. One of my friends, a PDP guy, called me crying 2 or 3 days ago, saying that all of the contracts we've done, we've not been paid since 2024. These are the things that we must speak to the government. And we must speak to, I am a supporter of Ashwaji, I'm not a supporter of any director. Any director that does not conform with what Ashwaji intends for the people must be shown the way, must be shown the door. The same way the former minister of it was shown the door. I spoke to her on the Twitter space. I said, no, people like you would not come and spoil the name of Ashwaju and spoil the policies that he's trying to do to benefit the Nigerian people.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
When they say that, hold on, Deji, when they say they put this thing out that if you have a mechanic workshop or you have a petrol station or you have this, apply so that it can be used as a conversion center. So it's corruption if the man applies.
You don't think
And one of his places used as conversion center. That's corruption.
If he applies.
So you don't think it's corruption that
it is corruption?
You don't think it's corruption that he has used his position?
No, it is not corruption, please.
Let me finish.
At all.
Let me finish, please. You don't think it's corruption that he has used his position, right?
Do you have a mechanic workshop, Deji? Do you have a petrol station?
Will you let me finish?
That can be converted to a CNG conversion center. Do you have?
Will you let me finish? Mr. Idako, right, is the PICNG's Northern Region Expansion Coordinator. He's not just a government official. He literally oversees the
CNG people are not government officials. CNG is a program. All the people, including engineer Oluwasomi, Abi, what's his name? Busaga used to be a private equity person. They are not government officials. You people should get information right.
Okay,
that's a program. Independent of government.
Wait.
Ishmael has just been appointed as a chairman there. He's not a government official. And they have said this is the thing. You have a mechanic workshop or a petrol station, it can be converted to a CNG center. Where is the thing in that?
All right.
So, Victor, your point is that if they give you food to make you share, you first of all give yourself instead of to share it to people. You are not corrupt. Is that what you're saying?
He has already.
Do you have a petrol station? Do you have a petrol station?
I asked you a question. No,
have you applied that they didn't convert your petrol station to?
That's not what we're.
To conversion center.
That's not what we're.
Do you know that? Do you know that it's because he had those things and those experience that he was appointed to the program in the first place? Did you see people who are not mechanical who don't have any sense there?
All right, thank you.
I beg make una go sit down.
Can I jump in a bit and help Mr. Victor out? Can I jump in a bit?
Mr. Victor, we heard Mr. Victor clearly, and he is in support of corruption. That's just it. The avowed Lumumbists. Please go on.
Thank you.
Can you also tell us, the areas this government has failed, or you would prefer to focus on the opposition?
No, let's start with the government in power. I mean, they are the ones that have impact on our lives directly. And they failed blatantly at their 8-point agenda for Nigeria. On August 29, 2023, the government, the administration, unveiled an 8-point agenda to turn around the fortunes of the nation. So let's
just to say, I can hear you, to be fair, but then I think you can do better. Your voice is a bit distant.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Let me remove my headset. One second, please.
All right. Maybe we should just, so that to fill in the awkward silence. Again, Mr. Victor, I just have to say. Yes.
Is it better now?
Okay, go on. Yeah, definitely.
All right, just 1 second. Yeah. So, like I said earlier, the This administration unveiled an 8-point agenda, which they are blatantly failing at meeting. The most basic of them all, and most important to every one of us, is food security. Food security, that was number 1 point on their 8-point agenda. Mind you, this 8-point agenda was unveiled August 29, 2023, had a 3-year timeline to significantly achieve most of the things on that 8-point agenda. Now, the first bullet point on that 8-point agenda is food security. Just 5 days ago, I think I put that in the chat, and it was one of the things I put on the Jumbotron earlier. The federal government, not me, not you, not any of member of the opposition speculating, this is coming from the federal government itself. They said they raised an alarm about rising food insecurity. You can see that in the chat, right? That 161 million Nigerians are facing food insecurity. So, how do we reconcile this with people coming to tell us that the government is working? Oh, maybe the government is working, but working for who? Definitely not the common Nigerians, not the common man out there. They are working for their own circle. So this is not my own words. This is the word from the federal government itself. There's rising food insecurity. Okay? So I think one of the most straightforward ways of gauging the performance of this government is they've committed to making certain promises. Are they meeting that promise? In fact, on the very day that 8-point agenda was unveiled, I remember one minister clearly saying something about Tinubu's administration pledging to create, is it 50 million jobs? Where are the jobs? Apparently, maybe a coastal highway to heaven is of more priority than creating jobs and improving the standard of living of Nigerians. Apparently so. Coastal road worth trillions of naira awarded to Chaguri and Sons, which I don't think has even passed through the due process. I'm trying to wrap my head around that, really. So I guess this is a government of the rich, by the rich, and for the rich. The common man can go to hell. What are the other points in this 8-point agenda? Because even Grok was merciful to give a D rating to, the performance of this government on this 8-point agenda. Oh, the second point on the 8-point agenda is ending poverty. Can we laugh a bit? Let's laugh a bit. Ending poverty in where? Nigeria has, I think, going by UN estimates and World Bank, data. You see, the poverty rate, and not just the multi-dimensional poverty in Nigeria is, we're breaking records in that regard. It used to be India that was the poverty capital of the world, but I think we've taken that crown now. Or we're somewhere there tussling for that crown. Multi-dimensional poverty, physical poverty, spiritual poverty, all sorts of poverty on all sides. And this administration, they unveiled an 8-point agenda saying that they will end poverty. Are you kidding me? Well, renewed hope indeed. Renewed hope indeed. What is the third point on this 8-point agenda? They said economic growth and job creation. Oh, yes. I think I mentioned something about 50 million jobs. I'm still looking for where the jobs are. If anything, we're seeing businesses folding up. Small scale businesses are folding up on the backdrop of rising energy costs and difficulty of doing business in these climes, right? They keep parroting economic growth. They're going to rebase the GDP based on some God knows what parameters. But we can clearly see, we can clearly see the trajectory of how Nigeria's GDP has shrunk. If you want to look at pre-APC years and post-APC years, and more so when Tinubu came to power. Where is economic growth, please? I think the only thing that has grown rapidly is inflation. And our naira that has, been devalued, which has worsened our standard of living as a people. They keep telling us soon and very soon we'll feel the impact. Soon and very soon we'll feel the impact. There was something I put on the Jumbotron before Tinubu became president, Abi. one of the psychophants went around saying, or some psychophants went around saying, promising all sorts. There'll be jobs. The naira will be stable to the dollar at 300 naira to the dollar in his first year of his administration. Then after his first year of the administration, it will be 200 naira to a dollar. Maybe that's happening in another alternate universe. Definitely not this one, I mean. So I keep receipts of all these, fraudulent promises, and nobody will come here and gaslight us. The other day, they are eulogizing Buhari's fraudulent legacies. Someone who promised to end medical tourism and still died on a London bed. We still have his track record of his 2 failed promises, but let me not digress. It's about Tinubu, right? So let's go back to his 8-point agenda. So we've not had any economic growth. What we've actually had is economic shrinkage, and we are still looking for the 50 million jobs promised. What's the other point? Access to capital. I don't think I have much to say about that. I don't know what capital you have access to when the interest
Please,
rate
can you
goes out.
show us the place where the 50 million job is promised, just for reference?
Oh, with all joy, let me even pull out that. Let me pull out that Punch
Okay, you
newspaper
can put that
snippet.
one on the jumbotron.
Just give me a second. I'll put down the jumbotron. Plus the Punch article and everything that was said. 50 million jobs.
Party
Now,
has a manifesto. Party did not issue a Punch article, please. Can you pull out
okay,
that 50
you
million
tell that
jobs
to your
in the
minister.
party
You tell that. I
manifesto?
think that feedback is for your minister that came out brainlessly to say that. Then that was not my words. It was a minister that came to promise 50 million jobs. That Tinubu committed to creating 50 million jobs. Not my word. You take that with the minister. That's not my headache. I'll put that.
Okay, put the minister and the name of the minister, please. The minister's name.
So,
Victor, can you keep quiet? Let him educate you. You don't know anything. You are just following blindly. Allow him to talk.
thank you very much, engineer. So, the next point is inclusivity. They said this agenda is for youth and women to, take up more leadership roles in the government. Well, inclusivity. I can see 70-year-olds fighting for youth positions in government, and I think what's the name of that minister? Is it Uju Kennedy that blew the scam on all these foreign loans where people take their cuts and. I think it's a little bit that trickles down to the plans that I think she was promptly fired from the government. So much for inclusivity. Improving security. I mean, we all know that's a joke. Our president, who could not go to the affected communities because of bad roads, can quickly run to the north and send his condolences, even if a bush rat dies there. I think that reeks of stinking politicking and just want to be politically correct. Even what are the? I think there were some. Was it a high-ranking chief or someone in Yoruba land died recently? The president even sent emissaries. Even he wasn't present there. But I think because of 2027 optics, if a lizard should die in the north, your president will be sure to run there to give his condolences, which is quite. I find that interesting. Anyways, so security has been a failure. Christians, no. I'm not even making it religious. No. People are routinely slaughtered in the north, in the middle belt, and they're even making incursions down in the south. People being slaughtered on their farmlands, raped, and all of that. And your president cannot go to certain places because the roads are bad. Yeah, security really, really improved. Oh, and the final one is the rule of law. Oh, sorry, seventh one is the rule of law. Rule of law. Rule of law. From a compromised judiciary? I don't want to say much on that, anyways. I'm still struggling to see the rule of law. The the law only applies to the poor and the oppressed. The rich people, we all know they are above the law. So let's leave all that one. Let's leave all that joke. Oh, and the final point is fighting corruption, which I think we all see is a big joke. Corruption has grown in leaps and bounds. EFCC is a blind eagle. Till today, we're still waiting to see what they are doing on Tom Polo. We're still trying to see what's going on with Yahaya Bello. But when you have a lawyer like Dele Farotimi, writing a book, I think we can see the arms of the law working swiftly to, put him in, what do you call it, handcuffs and snapping him like a common criminal for the world to see. While Yaya Bello goes around with his polished face, Tom Polo is still chilling, with the security contracts down south after, what they say, abusing our currency. Rule of fighting corruption, my foot. Rule of law, my foot. So don't let anyone come to gaslight you. The government, like the previous ones before it, they have failed in meeting, upholding their part of the social contract to Nigerians. We can all see that standard of living has deteriorated rapidly, more so under Tinubu's watch. If the common man, particularly, let's say the baseline, right, for someone who is poor in Nigeria, the last thing we should be struggling with in this nation is hunger. Help me make it make sense. We have fertile lands, food is expensive. We have water bodies teeming with marine life, but the common man cannot afford seafood,
Yeah.
you know. So, and there's something funny that was mentioned about, exchange rates and what have you. Let's try not to, I'll land with this. Let's try not to create further maths out of simple arithmetics. I'll leave a question with, let everyone just, let's try and think along these lines. Nigeria and DR Congo, they are among the wealthiest nations in the world when it comes to untapped mineral resources. Congo is the wealthiest. Nigeria ranks somewhere between 15th and 25th. Has it ever occurred to you why these countries have weak currencies but are very rich in natural resources? Then also think between 1960 to the late 70s, our currency was stable, was even stronger than the dollars, right? So what changed between then and now? I think these are, I won't say much, but just let's start with these basics. Why do resource rich nations have very weak currencies like Nigeria? And all of a sudden, why did some people start swallowing IMF poison pills and administering into our economy? And we're now talking about FX jargons here.
All right.
I'll just land with this point. Thank you for letting me speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's
For your
have.
information, I put PCNG response to your
I am
allegation
reading it.
on
I
the
am reading it.
Jumbotron.
We will dissect it. Don't worry. We will dissect it.
Sorry,
Engineer, please wait.
are
No,
we
no.
satisfied now that we have the record of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's failure, and we in the AAC criticize this administration every day of our life? You can see how detailed and comprehensive, the records of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration failure. Deji, I hope you are satisfied now.
For today.
Thank you.
All right. Let's have. Oh, all the Tinubu supporters have dropped. Oh, voila.
Sure, I chase them, come out me. That's
I
sad.
don't know. I don't
I'm
know.
here to respond to you. You are pretending you are not seeing Magnu. You are pretending you are not seeing me.
No,
You are
no, no, no.
pretending.
You guys have spoken
Uh,
before. Relax. You guys
Go
have
on.
spoken before. We had Eric Dan and somebody else here
I
before.
did not
Anyway.
speak at all. I only chastise you on the police thing and the
Okay, oh yeah,
ADC
go on. Go on. You've
this
been
thing.
here since we started.
No, no,
You've been here with
Victor,
this one.
you are the last in the class, 29
Um,
out of 30, so you will
what I will
as the
tell
last
It's
you
person.
is
okay,
what
engineer.
I've
Let him
already
speak.
put on the
Let him speak.
jumbotron. The PCNNGI has fully responded to your fabricated allegation with evidence and figures and time and amount and everything that they need to do. And then for the Shore people who have not been able to tell us since 1992 that their leader has been on the streets what they are going to do differently, and is ruling out 8-point agenda and this, and no single data, just innuendos, as if Nigerians don't have sense, which is why they gave them
No,
only
no, but Mr.
14,000
Victor,
votes.
the president himself released, I've seen that report, right? It was actually also published by The Nations, right? And that report said that the president has initiated a 3-year economic recovery plan. And part of what they intend to do is to create 50 million jobs, according to
It is a lie, and I have challenged you guys. He said he was going.
what is the
Give
lie
me a
though? What
minute.
exactly is the lie?
His minute has finished. He didn't put anything on the jumbotron. Let us see that report and let us see that statement by a minister or by the president.
Victor is
You
going
have
to do
not
that. He
seen
has told you.
anything like
But
that.
Victor, you talk about
No,
Sowore
Then,
and
Equatorial Guinea.
engineer, keep quiet.
you're
Keep
APC
quiet.
government, and you are the beneficiary of the fight Sowore fought
Keep
in the early
quiet.
90s. Right? Are you not so ashamed to talk about Sowore,
Keep
who fought for
quiet.
democracy, and your corrupt party is benefiting and looting the nation
Engineer,
Keep
from the
please.
people
It's
that
not your
quiet.
turn.
you should be ashamed to even say that,
Engineer, please
Victor.
stop. It's not your turn. Mr. Victor, I
You
don't put
see,
down for
for
Jumbotron.
those who do not know, and this is the problem of Nigerians, they listen to people who argue data with innuendos and stories. Why is DR Congo or this and that? Every country is measured by two parameters: GDP per capita. GDP is gross domestic product per the number of people producing it. In 1960, when Nigeria started, go and check where our GDP was, go and check where our capita, that is the number of people that are producing that GDP, was. We had 44 million people as at 1960. Today, we have grown the people to 230 million. We have not grown the GDP. In fact, as at doing Gowon, as far back as when was Gowon president, we were producing over 2 million barrels of oil. Today, we are struggling to get to 1.5. And it is very simple, except people do not want to be honest or people are deliberately dishonest. That when you are on the same salary or you are reduced salary and you increase the size of your family, you will be poor. There is no medicine out of it. So what has happened in Nigeria is that all of us collectively, GDP, we have produced less, and all of us collectively, we have increased, unlike any nation in the world, our
But
population
did you know
proportionally.
Tinubu dropped our GDP? He even made it worse. Did you know that?
The Tinubu made our GDP worse because of two things, and I will tell you. Tinubu made our GDP worse because we were lying to ourselves for 10 years since 2014 that Naira is worth more than it is actually worth. We called Naira 200 at one point. Later we said no, it's 460. But what Tinubu did is to take Naira to the auction and say anybody who wants to buy, decide the price you want to buy. And the real value of the Naira came out. It is what people are willing to drop so that they can get a particular item. That is the worth of that item. So people are ready to draw 1,500 Naira to get $1. It's like you go to auction, an item is worth what people bid for it. So if you say your item is worth 10 Naira and you just say 10 Naira and people are looking at you that it's 10 Naira, okay, we're looking at you, it's 10 Naira. But until you free that item in the market, and this is the first time the Nigerian government have had the courage to tell people, dollar is available. How many Naira are you willing to forfeit to buy the dollar? And it was Nigerians that made that decision. And that decision exposed the real value of the Naira like every other currency in the world. That's why for the first time, the Naira is now convertible. So they
But
quote
Mr.
it
Victor,
like they quote other currencies.
all this economic recovery that Macno spoke about, and you are trying to also allude to,
No, no, no. I'm not
Nigerians,
even talking
Nigerians,
about
Nigerians are
economic
saying they
recovery,
can't even
Deji.
feel
Wait,
anything.
I'm talking about the
Nigerians are saying they can't feel
fundamentals.
anything.
You see, there are fundamentals that Nigerians are
So these
pretending,
fundamentals. Hold on, please. So these
fundamentals that
fundamentals,
Nigerians are
Mr. Victor,
pretending
let me speak.
does not
Hold on,
matter.
hold on, hold
The
on, hold on, hold on.
fundamentals of the number of crude
Wait
we
now.
drill to sell, the fundamental of our population. All
I
those
don't want to hear this.
fundamentals are the thing that determine the value of your currency. Because if you do not work, if you do
So at
not
what
earn
point?
salary,
So at what point, Mr. Victor, will these fundamentals start showing in the lives of Nigerians?
okay, it probably will never show if I am to tell you the honest truth. Because what we are still doing now as a people, instead of pull ourselves up by the brass tracks and face work, we are complaining. 2 years down the line, we're still resisting. So for as long as we resist, it's just like continue to resist the reality. It's like the reality of your father saying, leave my house. And on that day, you are like, oh, mom, I'm on my own now. If you don't face the reality is that the government has freed us to produce or die. So if we refuse to produce and we choose to complain, we'll probably die. To work 12 hours, 13 hours, 14 hours, feed myself and feed my family. And the more work you do, that's productivity. And that's what will add to Nigeria's. But the more resistance people continue, which is what I have seen, like me, because I am like that too. I used to complain that my child, when they take breast from him, he will refuse to eat. And my mother laughed and said, you are exactly like that. So the number of resistance we show is when because the investors will not come until they see a willing population. And right now, we don't have a willing population. We just have a population who want to change. Honestly, personally to me, I wish the people in opposition, they will just win the election. Let them reverse all this policy
So,
so that we
so
can all
Victor,
suffer
Victor,
together. Because
Victor, what you
we
are trying to
deserve
tell
to
us is
suffer.
that Tinubu has failed at meeting his 8 point agenda on economic growth, and two have already put the promise from the comments from Wale Edu himself on the 50 million jobs. I've screen grabbed it from that Punch newspaper where he yapped and yapped and yapped about, and he even made
Please,
emphasis on the 50
can you
million
let me
jobs.
finish
Thank you.
my submission? The reality is that the fundamentals of Nigeria were never good. We grew population too fast without growing production. Simple. No other country moved from 44 million in 1960 to 230 million in 2025. None, except Nigeria. And those countries that
Mr.
moved
Victor.
even at 0 point something or 1 point something savings, they grew their production. Now, what is production? Production is the economic activity of all the citizens combined. In fact, in Nigeria's case, the GDP of government that everybody is shouting about is 8% of our GDP. 8%. So,
All right, Mr. Victor, just quickly before we go to the next person, Mr. Victor. One of the biggest inputs, right, to production, to productivity that you've said we seem to be lazy and we are not doing is energy. Mr. Victor, how has this government provided energy to Nigerians to be able to do this productivity that we
let
are
me
doing?
answer you. Energy is not one of the factors of production. I don't know whether you studied economics at secondary school. They will tell you 4 factors of production. Number 1 is capital. Number 2 is labor. Number 3 is market.
I don't say factor, I say impute. Impute.
Tell what?
Well, you can continue. I did not say factor, I said impute. But just go on.
No,
Lecture us
where is
as far
input?
as you answer the question.
The factors of production are important. That's the basic thing that creates production. And what do we have? We grew the so-called labor. We have the land, isn't it? Maybe we don't have the capital because we have always been a poor country. And
Nigeria is not a poor country, Victor. Nigeria is not a poor country, please.
can you
Stop the
let me
lies.
talk, please? So
Please
some
let him talk.
people keep pretending that they are rich where they are actually poor. When you calculate the per capita of the oil we have to the oil that only Qatar, that less than 1 million people has, we are extremely poor. In fact, we're on the bottom of the poor people.
The assets of Nigeria is not shared by the numbers. It's shared by political class that are looters of the nation. One individual looting what belongs to 50 million Nigerians. What's the rationale in your conversation, Victor? I don't know why you lack a
Please,
distance in truth.
Engineer, that will be the last interruption you make. Okay. Thank you. Mr. Victor, please go on.
you
Sorry, just wait for it. It's double mute, no vex. Engineer, please now. I
you
don't
see,
want to be mute.
every society, just like every family, have one responsibility to themselves, to be honest to each other. And if there is anything I've ever appreciated my father for, is that honesty, because he started telling me the reality of life since I was 12. Look, you need to work your ass out if you want to live a good life. I am not going to leave you anything. And that guided my life. Some people are pretending they are rich when they are poor. The question is, did the government give back to you? Did the government give a document to your parents to say because they have had you, they are entitled to 1 million or 10 million or 500 million? Did your father leave a house that you could have sold? Did your mother leave a land that formed the asset? No. You are poor today because you were born assetless. And your assetlessness is from your parents, first and foremost. What the government owes you was opportunity. And what's called opportunity? Education. And every one of us, if we want to be honest, we have been educated for free. All the countries that I've been to, it's only in Nigeria that people graduate and they have zero debt. So what is this cry every day? You got free university education and you are still crying. Come on, guys. I don't know what to do to say to you people, but keep crying. Nobody cares about people who cry. People only care about people who make progress. Thank you.
Okay, let's go back to my question, Mr. Victor. How is it that energy, a very, very important component to a
Electricity is a commodity. Electricity to come like God to say, let there be light. People need to put money to product. Let's be honest. except we don't want to be. That want me to put money in something that people will be stealing. Haba, let's have sense sometimes.
The government or investor provided the opportunity, right? The
Yes,
fundamentals
education is
that
the
needed.
opportunity you need
Hold
as
on,
a
please.
human being. Education is all you need. By 21, 22, all Nigerians have a
Before you say
university
you were not
degree.
speaking,
What else do you want?
according to you,
They
the
should build house for
fundamentals.
you and
Problem that Nigerian businesses
are you aware that work in this refinery? Are you aware?
whose fault is that? Whose
Tell
fault
me
is
now,
that?
you tell me.
Mr.
And
Victor,
you tell me,
Mr.
you are
Victor,
the
Mr.
one that
Victor,
will tell me
Mr.
whose fault
Victor,
is
you
that.
tell us here, right? That
You people were
if
studying Bible knowledge and
wait now,
religious knowledge, IBK in university. You didn't know that one day a refinery
Sorry,
will need employees.
can I explain that? Can I explain that?
please wait,
So,
please. I don't
so,
like
Can I explain
what
that?
the hell is going on. I'm trying to ask Mr. Victor to wait. Every other person still decide that that's the time they want to start interrupting. Mr. Victor, unless you don't want us to engage so that you can drop quickly, should I take it as though you have made your submission and you go down? Because I'm trying to, engage, but you keep because say your voice loud past my ear. Don't mean say you go to bully me for
No,
space.
I'm engaging you now.
Wait,
You
but
said
I'm
opportunity.
trying to
I
speak.
said
You are
education is the opportunity that society offers its
I've
citizens.
heard you. Okay, let me ask my question. If SpaceX comes to Nigeria today, do you think we would have, astronauts, proper, um, you know, proper capacity to be able to provide um, employment for SpaceX? Do you believe that he's probably going to go elsewhere to find capacity? What do you think?
Of course, we're not going to accept we want to bring Babalawo who is using a Egbe.
So
Of course, we
therefore,
don't have.
exactly. Why? Because Nigeria does not even have a space initiative. They don't have a space. Like our space agency is what they are concerned about is street lights. People don't go to school. Anybody that goes to school today to study aeronautics, to study whatever, may end up in the bank. They may end up in the bank. So
But
don't
Deji, you are
fault me.
putting the cart before the horse.
Wait,
Hold
please,
on, you
wait,
are
please,
putting the
wait,
cart
please.
before the horse.
The
We have
system, because
university. Hold on
okay,
now. We have university and people go not apply for those courses. How is that the fault of the government? Are you saying those courses don't exist in our university curriculum?
do they?
You pull out the brochure of your university now and see the courses that exist there. At least
Do
you
they?
can do that.
Dangote needed people who would work in his refinery, right? You want people who have experience. at least in refinery operations, right? Where was he supposed to find them? Even though we have universities who teach petrochemical engineering, who teach this, who teach that, where do you think they went to do their IT? It's probably some paint company. That's where they went to, not a refinery.
Deji,
Mr.
stop
Victor,
telling these
Mr.
lies.
Victor,
We had refinery
if
as far back as
Dangote, if
1976.
the same refinery that was
1976
not
was when the
producing,
first
that
refinery
was
was built in Nigeria. So people have been working in refineries in Nigeria since 1976. Till today, people are still working in refinery. We have
all
4
right, Mr.
refineries
Victor,
that they
Mr.
broke
Victor,
down. Does not mean that people were not working there.
Mr. Victor,
People, your
Nigeria is
generation just refuse to increase the population of that course so that they can match this thing. They were studying
all right.
content
Deji,
creation,
you ask Victor
So,
question.
and
Mr. Victor, sorry. Please, I'm begging every other speaker. I'm begging you, please mute your mic. Thank you. Mr. Victor, I think we should just move on. I concede you win. You win. I don't I don't hear you. Let's move on. Gege has been
no,
dropping for
wait
I don't
now.
know.
Did
Okay,
Nigeria build refineries since 1976 or not?
they did.
So what are you complaining about?
When was the last time? Do you know the capacity of our refinery now? How many? How? What's the volume of output that they currently have right now? Our refinery. How many fuel per liters of fuel do they churn out daily? Do you know?
The refineries were awarded for
No, right now. Right now.
renovation.
Are they still
So
renovating?
they
They've
are
launched it
still
now. Did Tinubu not go there?
renovating the refineries.
No, no, don't tell me that. Tinubu went there. When? How many months ago? Macnoon. Did Tinubu not go and commission a refinery? Is Macnoon
Yes,
there?
Tinubu Deji. Tinubu went and commissioned it, and
So
even
which
a lot of
renovation
people
again is
congratulated.
Mr. Victor talking about?
Deji, you know there are information online that you should get. Each of the 4 refineries that were awarded, all the contracts were online. They who got one, what's the name of this Italian company
Okay,
got
so
one.
there's no time,
Uh,
Mr. Victor. Are you
so
saying all
all
these
those
refineries are still
contracts
under
and
renovation?
the time, hold on, let me finish. All the contracts for the renovation and when it will be formally handed over after renovation, they are online.
So
Google
they
it
are still
so that you
renovating
will
all
have
of
those
them.
information.
So they are still renovating. I'm on a wow. So
As far as
why are
I,
they
as
commissioning
far as I
what
am
is
concerned,
not finished?
hold on now. As far as I'm concerned, if you give your house to somebody to be renovating it and you are still staying there, does it mean the house is not under renovation?
Okay, yes, it means it's still under renovation. All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Victor. Please,
Over 20,000.
no. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't. When you get your turn, you can speak on that, guys. There's no restriction to what you need to talk about as it relates to Tinubu's failure. Feel free. If it's education you want to focus on, do that. If it is health, press on. If it is security, light it up. Whatever you know as a matter of fact that this government has failed at, please let us talk about it. So because we are now sort of talking about refineries, we've gone through different things. So don't restrict yourself. I need everything, every single fact that has to do with this man's failure. Nigerians must know that we are currently plagued and currently, yes, plagued with the worst leader it has ever had the misfortune to have. So please let us know that for a fact. Anyway, Gege has been dropping, I don't know, maybe it's his network. Please go on and then we can go to other speakers. Gege, are you there?
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I presume you can hear me.
Yep.
Well, thank you again. To be honest, it's an interesting question whether Tinubu has failed, because obviously, because of my background in law, there's the principle that you cannot give what you do not have. So I'm not sure we would even call it failure. We'll just say it's Tinubu being Tinubu. And there's getting excited about this coalition. We need to remember that individuals have their characters. And if you vote somebody despite being aware of their character, you cannot then be surprised when they are basically doing what they've always done. We started off with talking about corruption in that CNG project. Why is that a surprise? When Bola Tinubu was governor of Lagos State, this is how he operated. In the 8 years when he was appointing his cronies in Lagos, this is how they operated. They create all these fictitious companies to generate kickbacks. He uses those kickbacks to fund all the various thugs and political support groups. He uses those funds to support judges, all kinds of leading intellectuals. For those of you who don't know, there are many judges who it's Bola Tinubu that pays their children's school fees. The strategy behind that is the day there's a judgment that comes before them that concerns him, a judge remembers that it was this man that paid my child's school fees when I was machinery that he has. When people call him a master strategist, it's basically a mafia organization. You need money to fund it. That's why he quarreled with Fashola when Fashola was governor. It was about money. Because the point Tinubu made to Fashola was that, look, you are here in government because we had to fund a machinery. So that is Bola Tinubu. So I'm not even going to be here and have these petty arguments. If you support him, this is what he is. The same thing I'll say to people who are going to thinking of supporting the coalition. If you support Obi, Obi is going to be in alliance with people like El Rufai, Malami, and co. You know how they operate. So don't vote for Obi with maybe Malami as Attorney General and then start complaining that, oh, Malami does not respect the rule of law. Malami doesn't know the law, and he has never respected the rule of law. So that's the first thing we Nigerians have to understand. We need to understand the characters of people we are voting for, so we don't come here and start wasting our time arguing about something that is consistent with the person's character. My final issue is there are certain objective measures. If you really want to see whether he's failed or not, there are certain objective measures you use. The first is on inflation. When PDP was in power, inflation was in single digits. And as you all know, inflation is one of the key determinants for whether or not a country can be wealthy or not. If you're earning a salary of 50,000 naira a month and inflation is at 20%, that means almost every year you're losing 20% of the value of your money. So people who under Goodluck Jonathan, the last PDP president, when they were earning 200,000 naira a month, they were big boys and big girls. Now under Bola Tinubu, 200,000 naira a month is nothing. So inflation is one problem. He has failed. The next is economic growth. Under the PDP government, you were getting growth as high as 8%, 6%, 7%. Since Buhari and Tinubu came over, they're now congratulating themselves on 1%, 2% growth. That is failure. A population as large as Nigeria needs growth, economic growth that is higher than our population growth rate, and we're not meeting that. So it's failed. The third is unemployment. Unemployment under the APC is as high as 33%. They changed the figures. They appointed a new person because Yemi Kale kept giving them figures they didn't want. They then appointed some new dudes to give them fake figures, telling you that the unemployment rate in England is the same as the one in Nigeria. But the IMF even had to issue a statement saying, look, Nigeria, you're now issuing voodoo statistics that nobody understands because you're trying to hide the information from people. Data is out there. And then a previous speaker said, oh, that our GDP shrank because Bola Tinubu floated the currency. Floating or not floating your currency has nothing to do with your GDP. Your GDP is determined by the size of the economic activity in your country. Whether you float your currency or not, that's not a GDP measure. So on all the objective metrics, Bola Tinubu has failed. But as I've said, his failure was not a surprise to me. This is who he accept them for who they are. Same thing with Buhari. I told people, Buhari is bigoted. Buhari has no interest in knowledge. Buhari doesn't listen. Buhari is a sadist. And it displayed all those things in power. So the only lesson we can learn is before you vote in 2027, study the character of the people you're voting for so that we don't come here and start having these pointless conversations where we're basically describing people's characters that we should have checked before we voted for them. I yield the mic.
Thank you. But the other day, I was having a conversation with one APC supporter, and one of the questions I asked was, in what way? Because, again, to be fair, the argument they always make is that all the other opposition leaders, Peter Obi, Atiku, they all promised that they were going to remove fuel subsidy, and they, sort of try to manage the exchange rate. And this is exactly what Tinubu has done. So invariably, they are saying that, it's in all likelihood this was going to be the outcome of that policy. And basically Nigerians have been unfair to Tinubu for doing what he said he was going to do, right? So the question I asked was, how did Tinubu then manage to manage the fallout of this policy? And part of what he responded was that, the president did a lot in trying to provide some sort of palliative to people. They shared rice, they gave rice, to Nigerians and all of that. Is this not, would you consider this enough, as a like a palliative measure? And are Nigerians being too critical of the president?
Well, that's also part of the problem, which is that when we say these things on social media, they will tell us you live abroad, so you don't know. Meanwhile, what should be happening is you should consult people who live abroad, who understand how these things work, so you can learn, rather than insulting them. Well, the first thing is this. The subsidy or Jonathan attempted to remove the subsidy in 2012. Bola Tinubu and co protested. The funny thing is the economy was doing well in 2012. Inflation was lower. So people had the purchasing power to afford higher fuel prices. Now, yes, we can't afford fuel subsidy, but the question is, if the economy is not growing and inflation is at 20%, what that means is people cannot even afford to buy petrol because their minimum wage or the salaries people are earning, somebody's costing almost 100K to fill their tank. And every year, the value of their money is dropping because of 20% inflation. So what has Bola Tinubu done to manage inflation? Nothing. On the one hand, the central bank has increased interest rates, but on the other hand, the government is still spending significantly more than it earns, and the central bank is still engaging in the illegal printing that Emefiele was doing. So they are exacerbating the inflation problem, which is why people are struggling. So the first thing you should have done is said, okay, if we're going to float this currency, then let's also tackle inflation so that people have more money in their pockets to pay for these things. The second thing you should do is when you remove the subsidy, there's supposed to be some savings. You then direct the savings to things that benefit the ordinary or the poor people. Sharing rice is not a sustainable way to provide palliatives. Okay, look, let's channel the funds into something that is the money and put it in a petroleum trust fund and said, look, we've dropped your expenses. So you cannot say we're abolishing the subsidy because we don't have the money, we want to spend it on the economy. Then at the same time, you buy yourself a new presidential jet, you buy new presidential vehicles for yourself, the legislature on new accommodation and cars, the vice president builds a new house, you spend 39 billion on an international conference center. All these things are telling you that you're not really interested in saving. I mean, you saw the first trip they had to Dubai. The environment, where even the chief of police, IG of police, said he went to Dubai to fight the environment. The economy
About education, that this is where you would expect that this sort of monies would go into. But APC supporters will tell you that, yeah, they are giving students upkeeps, monthly upkeeps, to be able to, you know, sort of pursue their academic endeavors. Wouldn't you consider this an achievement?
Well, let me tell you the truth. I went to primary school. I went to Corona School, Victoria Island, which at the time was the other elite schools at the time. Were all planning to put their children in government schools. Were excellent then, but the standards were higher. The teachers were top quality teachers. The learning was top quality. So when you say you're improving to the point where a school like King's College or any federal government college Catholic Church, St. Greg's looks 100 times better. What's their child in KC? It's now St. Greg's, a Catholic school that people are putting their kids. So I'm not talking about foolish student loans that the universities don't change. They look as raggedy as before. I mean, I went to university in England, so you know what a university looks like. You know the university that Buhari's kids went to. So I'm not saying give people loans that and they're still going to the same schools. No, if you want to invest that subsidy, I mean, take that money. You said, okay, it's 2 trillion naira. Then sit down with professionals and say, look, all federal government schools in Nigeria need to be at least of a certain standard, the standard whereby they know my child is not going to British International School, my child is not going to Atlantic Hall, my child will go to federal government college, Kaduna. That's the kind of spending I'm talking about, not just saying, well, give me student loans. No, that's not strategic thinking. And that's what I mean. These ideas are there, but they keep making fun of people in abroad. No. These are literally just take the money, say, okay, it's 1 trillion we're saving every year. Well, I think it was about I think it was about 9 or 6 trillion. We're saving 6 trillion from fuel subsidy. Okay, let's halve it. Of that 3 trillion, we'll get consultants from abroad and say, okay, look, how many federal secondary schools do we have? Let us standardize them to the point where even the teacher training will speak to international teacher training providers. You can set up online courses that every teacher in every secondary school that is federal government owned needs to take part in these online courses. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying people loan to go and sit at Unilag. I won't even wish my work.
What your argument is? These graduates from Unilag.
So who is
All
that
right, please,
performing
please,
me?
They
I
are
don't know what you're
performing
talking
you.
about.
please. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't mean. Oh, I'm trying to stop people from this thing. That's when you decide to unmute your mic, engineer. I don't understand. Why do you
Deji, I
guys
want to
keep
ask you
doing that?
something.
Wait, I'm trying to relax. If now your space now, you go mute everybody for 2 hours. They blow grammar. Just wait. Come here again, Macnon, to now start shouting. You know, that doesn't paint you well at all. Just people. Some people from Tokyo, Japan, India, you know. So you cannot be doing like this. Please. Let's comport ourselves.
Wait, because I don't want to. It'll just be 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I think the mistake you're making, Macnoom, is a common mistake Nigerians make where you take outliers. Obviously, they'll do well, but nobody designs education based on because the person that got first class in Uniben got an MBA at Harvard, it means our universities are good. No. What you look at is the average. Say the average university attendant at this school, what are their outcomes? You look at the standard of teaching. Even those people that you said went to Harvard, none of them will tell you that the standard of teaching at Unilag or world class. So I don't know what we're talking about. That's why many of them are going abroad for their masters. How many British or American people do their first degree in England and then say, I'm going to Nigeria for my masters? Nobody does that. You have a president. We've had 2 presidents die in office. Both of them died abroad. I mean, okay, one died abroad. One was treated abroad, Biyadua, but he died in Nigeria. The other one died in London, Buhari. That tells you something. Yes,
They all
they are
died
top
in abroad.
Nigerian
They all
doctors.
died in abroad.
Okay, well, they're top Nigerian doctors. And in the UK, does that mean our Nigerian medical schools are world class because you have one top doctor in the US or UK? No. So you have to look at things and say, look, what is the average outcome of these young people who are going to these schools? And my final point on that is actually, if you even study the educational history of many of these people, it is not even the university that gave them the aptitude that they had. It is the primary and secondary schools that many of these people attended. Many of them went to elite private schools, and primary and secondary school was just the topping on the cake, which is why serious countries invest in primary and secondary education, because that is where the foundation is laid. I yield the mic, Deji.
All right, thank you. We have a lady in our midst, and for those who know this space, oh God, engineer, you literally spoke for 20 minutes earlier. Just wait. Now the conversation is getting interesting. You want to choke mouth. Just wait. uh, Kem is here. I'm sure she would have some rebuttal. Kem, I can't hear her. Is she speaking? Can someone confirm if she's speaking? Okay, I'm going to drop her. Kem, please request for the mic again. I could not hear you. All right. So, engineer, quickly say what you want to say before Kem comes back.
Thank you, Deji. Yeah, the last speaker on subsidy. I don't know if you are abreast with the.
Okay, engineer, hold on. Yeah, Kem, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. I've listened to quite a lot of. You did preempt me. By the way, I'm Hajia Kem, if you don't mind.
Oh,
Um,
apologies. Ajia
thank
Kem,
you.
welcome.
Thank you. You did preempt me by saying that I would have some rebuttals. I do have some rebuttals. And I will start with Gege. I don't know if that's his name. Gege means pen in Niger in Yoruba. I am proudly Yoruba. Is the fact that the pen is more difficult to erase. And so when someone calls himself Gege, I would believe that he should start with facts. And so let me start by saying that it is first a miscarriage of education to think that the primary schools in a democratic government belongs to the federal. I'm glad he went to Corona. I went to Grace Children's School, Bagada. So I'm sure you know. If you went at the time I went in the 1980s, so we are here together. First things first, the federal government has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the primary schools. That is the primary So when you come here to say things like this, our universities may not be perfect. In Nigeria, that when people say something, they will be, you see, Ashwaju is a nice man. A time will come when you will not have the opportunity to just open your mouth. Wow. And allege without proof and the first question for an educated mind.
Don't overflood it because audience will get confused. There's just so many things. Please and please. Thank you. Kem, please go on.
Thank you. Be trying to find it now. LG is
You're
still,
talking
yeah,
about okay.
printing money. Yes, inflation is dropping by the minute. Today, if you need to use your Naira card online, something that Emefiele denied us of. If I had to pay for my Twitter blue tick, I will have to go and pay cheaper cash. Cheaper cash will take so much money from me. Then, when the money is remaining like $20, the card will stop working. Nigerians are not talking about that. And that is where I always come back to the fact that we're expecting magic, and magic cannot happen. Someone was on this space praising the PDP, that during PDP there was employment. Hey, okay, I will explain to you. When the PDP came, there was Delta Steel Company. I'm just going to mention a few. When the PDP came, there was Alscon. When the PDP came, there was Nigerian Airways and a host of other Nigerian businesses. You see, the article that you people want to turn to the saints today, he was in charge of ensuring that all of these things were sold. Ima, my brother, I see you. I greet you respectfully. You know we are still friends. All of us are friends in Abuja. But you see, the facts have to be stated. Atiku was in charge of the privatization of Nigerian owned companies. Yes, there was employment then. Maybe not as much as we have, maybe we didn't have as many people employed as we do have today. But yes, parents were employed. Guess what? Because you will not rewrite history before me. All these companies were sold. Now, I need us to go back to what I'm talking about. Otumba, I greet you. When those companies were alive and people were working there, let's assume they were not sold. It will mean that some of our parents who worked there would have retired, and some of us, the children, would have started working in those same places. Will there be unemployment? Foul. There will be no unemployment. It won't be at this rate. Now, all those companies dead. To make matters worse, their gratuities were not paid to them. That is what the Yorubas call Jegudu Jera. They chop the company, they chop everything, and they still did not pay these people their allowances. Now you want to complain about unemployment for a government that is less than 3 years old. I know Tinubu and Buhari, we are together. Don't worry, we are together. But I need you to remember that the late President Buhari, may Allah grant him Aljana Fidels, is the one that now that has given you and I the opportunity to take rail transport. Before now, because you see, as Nigerians, sometimes I feel that we forget very easily. We seem forgetful. Before now, the only rail that was working, maybe one or two, they were all rickety and dead. And we know that rail transport is one of the best form of mass transportation. Now you want to tell me that Tinubu has done nothing. You call it many failures. I will say, okay, no problem. Badamwa. Let's face it, one after the other. My own President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was governor in Lagos State. And I will always go back to that. And I like the fact that Abu Siddiq, Honorable, yesterday wrote that it is impossible to fix Nigeria even in 8 years or any country. Now, the Rwanda that all of you twerk for and are excited about, Paul Kagame, he's been there for so many. In short, they have rewritten the laws to keep him there. What I like about it is that he's helping the country move in the direction they want. But let me tell you something you don't know. Back in either the early 2000s or back in Ashiwaju's tenure as governor, Kagame sent people to Lagos because they say a prophet is without honor in his own house. Kagame sent people to Lagos to come and study how they address the issue of waste in Lagos. And that is what they have modified for Rwanda. Oh, Tinubu's many failures. Bakomi, Badamua. You want to push ADC on us? I'm a go and research it. This one is not thumbs down. See, me, I talk with facts. I will speak facts to you. If you research it and you find out, I will publicly apologize. You want to thumbs down? How old
It's
are you?
Fashola time. It's Fashola time. Makparo.
Ta ló sọ pé is fashion? Ta ló sọ pé
Wait,
Romo
wait,
pa?
wait,
Who is
please,
this?
please, please.
Ta nìyẹn?
Okay,
Ta
okay, wait,
nìyẹn?
wait,
Ta
wait.
nìyẹn?
Ajia, please hold on. Please start rounding up so that we can also have the
Okay.
opportunity to
Okay,
engage.
to
Thank
have
you.
reporters. Okay, so let me quickly talk about they said they are not saving, they are not saving. The presidential, for the first time in Nigeria's history, Nigeria bought a second-hand jet. A second-hand jet. And that is what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is using. Go and research it. Those other presidential jets were becoming like coffins. And God will not let our president die in the air. Our president will not die while airbound. So, yes, a new presidential jet was bought, a second-hand presidential jet. Talking about education, I didn't finish that one. Let me remind you that the president has to deal with tertiary education. And you see, this error of always holding only the president is what will kill this democracy. Because if you hold the governors by the jugular, the way you are holding the president, eh, we will have a much better democracy than we have today. In any case, I must now remind you, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu brought NEL Fund, an opportunity for people who otherwise would drop out of university to finish university, right? And then Nelfon has created a job portal, or is about to create a job portal where all available jobs will be put in place. Don't forget that you do not have to pay for Nelfund. You do not have to refund your loan until you get a job. That's a major game changer. What does that tell you? That the government will be mandated to find you a job. And please, when you find a job, because Nigerians are fond of these things, and those of us who are employers of labor in the country understand how Nigerians, you would employ them to work and they will want to kill your business. When you do find a job, let it grow, let the business grow. Don't eat it, don't eat the seed. That's what many Nigerians do. And that is the real reason why we have the bulk of unemployment that we have today. People are closing businesses because of the dishonesty amongst us. And on that note, I will stop for now.
Okay, first of all, please do us a favor and put Aja in front of your name so that when we call it, we will not omit it. Also, I'm sure I think Gege had as a rebuttal, not necessarily a rebuttal, like a clarification. I think he feels you misrepresented what he was trying to say. So Gege, please go on.
Thank you, Deji. I'll literally be 2 minutes just to respond to Mrs. Gemke. The first thing, she talked about my name and said, well, I'm not Yoruba. I'm from those states. So whatever you choose to call my name in your language, that's really between you and yourself. It's not my issue. The first thing I talked about, I think all the listeners were here. I specifically was talking about, I mentioned federal government colleges. And then Mrs. Kamke comes here and claims that we're talking about primary schools. A federal government college, by its name, federal government college, is run by the federal government via the Ministry of Education. So that's the first thing. The second is it's also incorrect to say that the federal government is not involved in primary education. There's actually an agency called UBEC, state governments, for this specific reason, because they want to improve primary education. So that, again, is another false statement that you made. Thirdly, we're talking about jobs. And this is why I said at the start of my previous argument that, look, when you're talking about jobs, you look at data. We're talking about unemployment under the APC combined with Buhari. It's at 33%. Now, you're telling me that people lost their jobs in Delta Steel and Ajaokuta, or is Delta Steel or Ajaokuta, is that why the unemployment is at 33%? How many people were working there? Of course, even in economies like Britain and America, businesses will close. But you don't use one business closing to claim that a government has failed in unemployment. You look at the data, and the data shows that the APC, Bola Tinubu, and Buhari have both failed. The third thing you did was then try to pass the blame to Emefiele, as if Emefiele is an independent party, not part of your APC. You said, oh, these were, and you yourself have rightly said, Bola Tinubu and Buhari were together. All the time this economy was being wrecked by Buhari, your Bola Tinubu was clapping and cheering, hailing Buhari. So this is also his mess. And in addition to that, go online and check. Your central bank is basically doing the same manipulations that Emefiele was doing. So I'm a bit surprised by this attempt at what I can only call intellectual makosa to try to make these arguments. But my final point is, as I said before, keep talking about, oh, you went to this school. I don't know who all these characters you're talking about. Oh, they went to Unilag, somebody got a first class honors. Once again, you're talking about anecdotal stuff. I'm saying look at averages. There are public rankings of educational systems across the world that tell you that Nigerian primary and secondary and university education is a mess. So I cannot believe you're telling me that because you know somebody that got the first class from Unilag, or because you know one person that studied medicine and is now a doctor in America, that somehow things are working. This is not how we do public policy debates. Deji, please, as well. Please, we need to bear this in mind. We look at data.
Gigi,
That's why when I was
sorry,
discussing,
Deji,
this
please
is what,
can I, Gigi, please can I come in,
no,
please?
when I finish,
Allow the man
you
finish.
Okay.
Uh, okay. I need to say it again. When someone is speaking, your interruption can, take the thoughts out of their mind. It can push them. Like me now, I dey always want to talk, but once someone interrupts me, I can just forget. I'm sorry. So I don't like that. You will speak, don't worry. You get, like I said, this is not an equal opportunity. Sorry, you are going to speak. So, Gege, please finish. Sorry about that.
yeah, no problem at all. I'll just round up by concluding, just saying, look, when Bola Tinubu himself came into office, many of his key aides and spokespeople actually have confirmed on the record that Bola Tinubu inherited a horrible situation from Buhari. So that is already admitting that Buhari and the APC wrecked this economy. You know what you got it from under GDP. Inflation was below, employment was low, economic growth was high. So as much as you can use sophistry and grammar to confuse the issues, this is where we are. Bola Tinubu has made all things worse if you look at objective data. So if you're going to rebut, then bring publicly available data that shows that our secondary schools are world class, our universities are world class, our economy is growing at record levels, and unemployment is at a record low. Aside from that, this is just basically, as we say in Nigeria, it's just breeze. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Mrs. No, you may choose to rebut whatever you want to do. It is your time to speak. So anyhow, whether it's rebuttal, I don't know, but you have 4 minutes to say what you want to say. Thank you.
I just need 1 minute. In fact, everything that needs to be said has been said, aside from, like, I want to just emphasize on what Gigi just said. You know, I also grew up in Lagos. I don't know, in the 80s. I attended Crescent International School, I think, in Victoria Island, 1004. Then again, my secondary school, I went to um, a government secondary school. Then from there, I went to a government university, which I could not continue. It was too difficult. I think, let me put it as in, it was like the difficulty passing through university in Nigeria is so difficult that I could not cope. I moved out of this country to finish my university. So it is not working. I am with Gege here. You understand? And why I even just, I'm very sorry for opening my mic. And this is why I just requested for the mic. Our education sector is just in shambles and everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. No. But our friends are saying that the government is providing loans so that people who can afford to go to school get to go.
Can I
Mrs. No,
respond,
don't you
please?
think? Hold on, please. Mrs. No, don't you think this is commendable? At least, even if the system is terrible, people will be able to attend it.
Giving loans to attend school. I don't get. Please, can you come again?
Okay. All right. What I was saying is that APC supporters are saying that um, they are giving loans to students, right? And the point here is that at least people can go to school. But your point is that the system is in shambles. Is it not better to go to school first?
It's better to go to school first. It's better to go. That's why I said a lot of people have already said a lot of things, and I just wanted to, I don't have time right now. I need to attend to some things. I spent a very long time on this space. So right now, as in at 12, by 12, I have an event, so I need to get ready. But I've been listening.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's do it this way, guys.
Thank you.
Um Kem, I actually have some questions because, like you said, the space is titled Tinubu's many failures. And it would not be nice, to make such bold, to make that topic in that such a manner without telling you why, right? So I was speaking to a friend, an APC supporter, who was backing all these policies that the government is doing. And I asked him, is there any palliative? Because everyone has said this was a bold decision. He needed to make it. All the other opposition leaders also said they were going to do it. So why are we criticizing Tinubu for doing what he said he will do? So the question is that now that he has done it, what were the policies or what were the things he did to cushion the effect for people, right? And the first thing I thought about was transportation, obviously, right? Fuel price has increased, people will spend more in transporting each other. What did the government do that Nigerians can boldly say that this guy gave palliative as respect to transportation? So let's start from there. And I'm begging you, if you don't mind keeping it, concise and short, so that we can get more questions. I've been waiting for someone that can properly
Okay.
educate me on this matter. So go on.
Okay. Okay. So let me start by saying that, firstly, there were, because of the shock with which it came with, there were cash palliatives, but that was for the short term. And you would recall that at even some point there were free, especially during the Yuletide season, there was free transportation and all of that. There was distribution of grains, to different people. Even civil servants, were promised, and I believe have started receiving their 35,000 naira extra, or have received it, that. But you see, the part of it that is most important that many people are not talking about is the CNG, the compressed natural gas that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has now made available to ensure that vehicles can be turned into CNG, and then they can reduce the costs that they spend in fueling their vehicles. Why is this important? CNG is clean energy. That means that we are attending to our sustainable development goals. Major winner in terms of transportation. Don't also forget that the president made available loans for small and medium enterprises at 9% interest. This helps them to be able to fuel their business till they can start to make profits again. So if you ask me, there was no easy way for the subsidy that we have been used to for decades to have been removed. But did he do something? Of course he did. And that's what I just told you. So you said I should keep it short and sharp. I want to respond to Gege, but he's telling me the intellectual Makosa. I like that he knows how to dance with his waist.
All right.
That's his
So
personal
so
business.
so for you, so what the president did essentially was to curb the fallout on transportation costs for Nigerians. He did
Absolutely.
CNG. That was it.
CNG is the major winner for me
Was there any
because
other
it
thing?
means
Was
that.
there any other thing with respect to
Where were you when I
transportation?
was mentioning the other things now?
No, you said he gave grains. I don't understand. It's grain. I was talking about transportation costs, right? And you are saying that CNG is the major winner. So anybody that did not
I
have
also
access,
said,
I'm sorry, anybody that did not
yes.
have access to that CNG, because even just in clarification, clarifying,
Listen.
PICNG said that they've 100,000 people have benefited from this initiative. I'm sure you know the number of people who use transportation on a daily basis in Nigeria. They are more than
Can
100,000, right?
I
So
can I
how is
respond?
it that this president has curbed the effect and the fallout of high transportation for Nigerians?
Okay. Thank you for this question. And I will go over what I said again so that you don't misunderstand me. I said the president gave out palliatives. I said the president also gave wage awards to the civil servants. I also mentioned that the president, the CNG, and he said it's only 100,000. And this is the problem I have with many of
But
us.
I didn't
We
say that
believe,
was what PCING said.
wait now, Rome. Now, I was born in an era where I'm not sure that noodles was raining, except when my uncle travels and brings it back. I was born in an era where when you plant, you will wait for it to grow. So long as you are seeing incremental increase in the growth of what you planted, you are happy. I was not raised in the era of instant things. Oh. So it makes it a bit difficult for me to understand people expecting that CNG should come up in, as in we should have all cars CNG in 3 years.
Okay,
What
that's
I
fine.
see, I'm coming. Let me finish. Oh, what I see is that we are moving in that direction, and I see incremental growth that does not require a magic wand, which is the problem I have with many people. We're looking for a messiah who just comes with a magic wand and everything changes. That's not how
Okay.
it works.
All right.
Mhm.
So this transportation cost has
Mm.
then had serious effects on food prices. In fact, obviously, food is being affected by a lot of things, security, whatever. But
Yes.
a lot of farmers, a lot of market women, Nigerians are complaining that food has become more expensive simply because the president failed. Temken,
Wait.
how
That is
is
my
it?
brother. Wait,
How is it?
wait, wait.
I'm trying
Let
to ask
me
a
let me
question. You
also
are not letting
explain.
me.
No, let me also. Are you done with your question? Because
I'm
I
not
can
done,
explain.
but you people know what
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
might regard
Finish,
me for
finish
my
now.
space.
Finish,
So
finish, finish.
this transportation cost, because it increased as a result of the fuel subsidy
Mhm,
removal.
mhm.
Let me first of all remove tax. As fuel subsidy removal, right?
Why? Why would you remove
He
tasks?
was unmuting his mic. There was background noise.
No, now
It's
let him
okay.
come
Let's
in
not. He
now.
will request again. Don't worry. Let's not
Oh yeah,
stress
go
over it.
ahead. I'm listening.
So market women are complaining that the food
Olojuma.
prices have increased. Everything has increased because transportation cost has increased. What did the president do to provide palliative for these women, for Nigerians, with
Okay,
respect to food security and food price?
fantastic. Thank you for that beautiful question. Let me start by saying that first things first, the market women were giving loans that they could use to buy. But when the president realized, and then even farmers were encouraged,
How
to
much loans
get
were they
their.
giving? How much? How much? How much?
I don't have the figures, and I don't want to be misquoted. Now, let me also now add that when the farmers decided to start hoarding some of the produce that they had to further raise the prices of food, what Mr. President did was to encourage the importation of food, pending when we can get more mechanized farming. And you would agree with me, Deji, that mechanized farming and farming in general, you cannot, um, have produce at the snap of a finger, especially because here in Nigeria we don't even do GMOs that can you can plant today and reap maybe in another 1 week or 3 weeks. You understand? So Mr. President said, okay, pending when we can become self-sufficient in food, let us import some food. You would also agree with me that since that importation of food prices have dropped. Now, the challenge with Nigeria and Nigerians, which is now a personal you and I thing, is the fact that Nigerians believe that once prices go up, it should never come down. And that is between you and I.
Okay.
I don't know if you
So
understand me.
so basically
It
it's
is it is
Nigerians,
also a
it is
function of the
Nigerians.
fact. Hmm?
Yeah, it is Nigerians that have kept the food up, right?
There are tweets to show that there were times when Nigerians will say, okay, hoard your products. It will get expensive by there. There are I'm not even talking of only rural farmers. Do you understand? And that's why Mr. President said, okay, rather than kill our people with hunger because we want Nigeria to feed itself, let's import food for a while, and opened a window for that. And some food prices have actually come down to that effect. And because I don't want to hog the mic, my brother Macnon is here. Since you have dropped us, let Macnon speak so that me, I can also go to Juma. Thank you.
Since I've dropped cast. All right. Macron has already spoken before, by the way. All right.
We are
Let's
bringing us up now. Why are you doing this
please
to
Please,
our
I
people?
hold
want
on.
Deji, good morning. I
Hold
want
on,
to
hold on,
ask one
please.
question.
Oyi, I'm not responding to you. Oh. Go to
Okay,
the
let's
space
move
where
on.
people used to abuse
Let's
me.
move
I
Oh.
on.
get question
I
The
for
want to
space where
ask.
you
Kevin,
used to abuse me is where you should go. I'm not responding to you.
but I have
See,
question for
see,
Kevin.
see. There is okay. There is something she said which is not correct. I will have to, but later.
What did she say that is not correct?
She said that CNG does not deplete the ozone layer, unlike what is it called? Unlike the normal PMS that we use. That is what she said. But that is even wrong. That is wrong.
Don't worry, don't worry. We are not on climate change course class today. Let that one slide. All right, let's move on. Um, know your why. Please go on. I'm now pressed for times, guys. So there's a lot of
Okay,
requests.
thank you
Jesus
very much.
Christ. So
Thank you
let's
very
be
much.
quick now. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Deji. Thank you for the opportunity on your space. And thank how you have been managing the space to make it flow nicely. I will start with an adage that says, "Devil is in details, not in the summary." Devil is in the details, not in the summary. By nature of my own work, I'm heavily biased for facts, and I will start with this way. I've joined but since last year, I've been joining several spaces. And I always, anytime I have opportunity to talk, I always ask one question. Please take Nigerian budget and fund it for me. Don't increase tax, don't take loan, don't take ways and means, and then supply fuel subsidy, supply energy subsidy, supply health subsidy, supply food, cheap food. Everywhere I go to, nobody answers me. Nobody answers me. Nobody are taking that challenge up. I assume maybe it's a question
Know
that is
your why.
oh,
Know your
but
why. I
No,
apologize for
please,
interrupting
Temtem, don't
you. I'm
interrupt.
coming, Deji.
No, no,
Deji,
no,
no.
no,
I
no,
just
no,
want
no,
to
no, no.
explain
No,
something.
please,
I
no.
need everybody to Google CNG and PMS and ask whether CNG is not better than PMS, because Onyi cannot call me a liar before 230 something people on something that he has not fact checked. Thank you very
Voila.
Only
much.
lies a lot. Only lies a lot.
All
We
right,
all know
all
that.
right.
So that's
Please,
fine.
oh God, see what I'm saying. See, oh, please. I don't want any interruptions. Thank you. Know your why. Please go on.
okay, thank you, sir. Now the issue is this.
See wait till now, cause I beg. I don't want the mute.
Sorry,
Please just
you
wait for
muted
it.
me.
No, it's
You
not
muted
my
me.
fault. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. So as I was saying, I love figures. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say Tinubu government is good, is bad. Give me details, because that is where devil is. I'm sorry, I'm a physician, so I deal with figures, I deal with details. I won't tell you I want to amputate your leg in the theater where I am right now without telling you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the result of your thing. This is why I'm cutting off your leg. Not because I'm wicked. It's because either your life goes or your leg goes. Choose one. And I walk away. So I've given those budgets to people. We were servicing foreign debt and local debt with 118% of our revenue. Number one. Number two, we were using our crude oil sales to fund fuel subsidy right from the source even before the money comes to Nigeria to FAC account. That's why as early as 2021, Bauchi State Governor Bala, Edo State Governor Obaseki were saying NNPC was remitting zero remittance to FAC. They are all online there. We ignored them because we were cool with buying cheap fuel. We don't know the consequences of cheap fuel. Since NNPC was remitting zero remittance, then we should ask ourselves, what money was the state sharing? What money was the federal government sharing? What money was it sharing from the LGA? We didn't care to ask 3, 4, 5 years ago, as long as we were buying cheap fuel. Because we are a nation that love to gloss over issue. We think innuendos is just intellectualism. No, because Buhari has to start printing ways and means. I have two figures. National Assembly says $31 trillion, CBN says 21. But either way, either it's 21 trillion naira or 31. That was what was sustaining us. We were dying. We didn't know. We were deceiving ourselves. Zero remittance. All the crude oil sales was going to fuel subsidy. And we think we were healthy. I'm saying this because of this analogy I'm going to give you now. I'm giving this analogy because of my own nature of work. Everybody give an example according to their field. If you have diabetes for 40 years and now you have wet gangrene in your leg, I am not a wicked man for amputating you, please. That is the only option you have to continue to live. Or I leave you alone, that wet gangrene will kill you, guaranteed, 100%. So if your family members that came to the ward, to the surgical ward, are now seeing me that you met, I met you with wet gangrene, I'm now being seen as a wicked person because I want to cut your leg. No, I'm not the wicked person.
Okay,
Diabetes kill your
so
brains,
all this
kill
what
your
about
artery,
the
kill your
money?
nerve.
What about the money they used to build Vice President Lodge? Do you remember how much
Okay,
that was?
now,
From which budget did they remove
okay,
it?
should
From
I,
which budget?
I didn't want to go there
Yeah,
before.
go there, go there.
Okay, let me now, okay, thank you, let me go there. But even though you're making to divert my thought now, but I'll go there. Sir, good luck Jonathan began that project. In fact, at the height of the controversy, Osinbajo had to come out and say, I didn't request for any VP's house, I didn't start it, good luck started it. It became abandoned project because of the controversy then. The problem is that this country will forget too soon. I don't know why Nigerians have a very short memory. This PP's lodge was a controversy in Buhari's first term. It's there. They had to abandon it out of the controversy. After all the money Good Luck spent to begin the project. Good Luck began this project. Because the controversy, Buhari and Osinbajo stayed off it. That look, Aguda House is okay for me. Tinubu and Wike said, look, this is another abandoned project. We can't keep on having abandoned project. Let's finish it. That is it. God Almighty is my witness. God will prove that I'm saying the truth, not the whole truth. That people's house was never Tinubu's project. It was an abandoned project because of the controversy of the first 4 years of Buhari, that people were saying, Buhari, no, that Osinbajo asked for is Osinbajo make a release that I had never asked for any house. This is a house, a project we met on ground. But the problem is this, Nigerians forget so soon. Every simple thing we just forget so easily. It's there online. It was a cool of project. Let me go back to my figures, please. We were having zero remittance to FAC account as late as 5 years ago. 2021. If you doubt me, I will post Bauchi State Governor Obaseki making noise, shouting that government was printing money. But because we didn't know the meaning of printing money, we didn't know the meaning of zero remittance, we're just thinking we are okay. That Tinubu is one that came to kill Nigeria now. But we were sick then. Secondly, in January 2016, I was in a conference in Bali, Indonesia. I could not pay the hotel with my card. My card seized. I had to sleep at the hotel lobby, sending emails to GTB, sending call, making call. Please, my card is embarrassing me. Until I had somebody to save me from embarrassment, to pay from Nigeria to the hotel before I could have a hotel to sleep in Bali, Indonesia. Do you know why? As late as 2016, we were
Please start
having
rounding up. Please
evidence
start
that
rounding up.
our rate of 1,000 to 200 and something was fake. It was not available. It was a fake life. Ask for it, you won't get it. That was why my card bounced, because the bank was telling me, we don't have that rate to give you. If you want that rate, if you want dollar, buy dollar and put it in your own account yourself, or buy it and travel with it. So those rates, if Tinubu want to look good to many of you that are here today now, let Tinubu just fix $1 to 12 naira. You know what happens? Our economy, our GDP will move
All right.
immediately to 1.2 trillion naira. It's not dollars. Now it will move. But
All right.
the fact that will you get 1 to 200 naira if you want it? No. But we love that fake life. But if you tell me Tinubu has not done well with agric, I will agree with you. In terms of health, I will agree with you. But time will not permit me to give you those figures. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you, Omo. I'm pressed for time, guys. So sorry. All right. 247. Quickly, go on. Can you guys hear 247? Give me an emoji, cause me I go drop am. I can't hear you. Can you guys hear 247? Okay, no. All right. Malamogri, go on.
Okay, sorry, hold on. Thank you. So, Deji, thank you so much. Sugar. Sorry, guys. So, what made me to request Mike was when people started gaslighting Nigerians why we should not talk about things. They start to blame people, blaming Nigerians, and at the end of the day, they blame nothing on Tinubu. For a starter, let us be mindful that it was Tinubu and his co-travelers organized a protest that stopped the economy from operating for close to 1 week, fighting against subsidy removal. Abode is not leaking water. Why is that a priority? Since we are talking about completing incomplete projects.
So you are sure there was no other thing being funded?
Oh my
Is that
goodness.
the only thing being
Somebody
funded?
Why are you
interrupt.
You're just
interrupt? Why are you
ignorant. Yes.
interrupting him now?
Please, this is the last time I'm going to say it. When someone is speaking, just wait. The next person to interrupt. See, there are literally 22 requests, and I only have how many minutes left? So please, let's not waste anybody's time here. We don't need interruptions. So the next person that interrupts gets dropped, and I apologize in advance. I have warned more than 10 times now. So thank you. All right. Sorry about
So
that. Um,
no, it's okay. So you see, it was okay for him to come and tell us that they don't want abandoned projects. But we have other abandoned projects all over the country. But there was a reason why they made that choice, even when the man himself is yet to move in there. So our people, he talked about card. I mean, who stopped card, international card use? I recall 2014, I was buying practically everything from Nigeria here. He was the same APC. So if somebody's coming here to talk about this, they call it, I don't know what they call it. I don't understand. Gege made a point, very fantastic point about which was what happened in my days. If you are going to school in those days, Learning Field was a secondary school, private, one of the foremost private secondary school in Onitsha then. Many of them jumped from that school and they came to join us in CKC, DMJs, and when you see them, you will know them anyway. But Gege made a point. He was talking about Federal Government College, how they've abandoned them. You go today in King's College where Ojukwu and Oko did their secondary school. You find out that today there are diseases all over the school, abandoned. At least I used to have a friend of mine in the person of Sonny Mubumu, who was at some point, okay, is people gloat about it. Can anybody gloat about that school today? That is the failure we're talking about. But we have our sister coming here to sidestep Tinubu in everything, insulate Tinubu. Tinubu is the innocent guy, but we need to blame other people. There are some other arrangements that put in place that they are not even fulfilling. But of course, it's okay. Tinubu will not jump, will not crash airborne. But the airplane is still there today. Have they sold it? No, they told us they will sell it. Which one is VP using? We have about, according to them, like they told us when APC was coming, they said that they will sell 11 whatever fleet or presidential fleet. How many have they sold since that time? Many of them are still there. My man went to buy airplane because that's what he wanted to do. He bought Airbus, he's enjoying himself, you know. But of course,
Okay.
that
All
are
right.
bigger than
Mala,
us.
let me start rounding.
Just I'm done. I'm not even having a call already. So we have other presidents of other countries that are way richer than us. Even the GDP of some places in their place are way better than half of them. Half of their GDP is our dream of GDP, but yet they don't have private jets like we have here. We have like up to 6-7 private jets. Let me be what they call it, prudent in my way. So they have up to say they don't have up to 6 this thing. But here we are, we justify it like a poor man who doesn't have money, who is supposed to be managing himself, who is taking away from the people. They took away everything from the children, and they talk about our tertiary education, how this, that.
All right.
I don't sorry,
Malam,
call now.
this is money call. This is money matter.
No,
Please
no. Now
don't
my wife they
don't.
call me. Now my wife they call me. I'm just trying to round up. Now my wife. So my point here is, while we are saying all that we are saying, it was until I got to UK that I know that students have access to journals where you get updated information. But we are still using handouts in a school where people are borrowing money to go to school. Like you pick up a loan that you will pay later, and are giving you free of knowledge education, and they call it education. It's disappointing, but it's okay.
All right. Thank you. Again, I'm going to tell the speakers that there is no limit to the failures of Tinubu. Whichever one you want to speak on is fine by me. Okay? You don't need to restrict yourself because we've been talking about education now. You think that's the topic? No, that's not the topic. The topic is the many failures of President Tinubu. Some people have even said, under this so-called democratic uh, government of Tinubu, is when we've experienced the most and the worst form of oppression. I'm sure 247 have some pointers to that. 247, please go on.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But before that, bros, I want just tell Kim where we say lie. Sometimes APC people will just come. They shall want to do everything to defend this, useless. In fact, one of the most useless governments Nigeria has ever, have in history. Talk about how the one that came to Lagos State when Tinubu was a governor. Felt like I was born and brought up, schooled in the. In fact, I'm a Lagosian. Omo Yoruba lemi. A kombi by not be wasi. So you cannot come and lie and come and tell us everywhere they are fighting for terminals. Before the Fashola stabilize those things. If you want to get one terminal like this, Agbero will go there, kill anybody under Tinubu time. We know what is going on in Lagos State. Are we not born in Lagos State here? So we experienced it. So when people that came from other states are, they just came to nonsense stories that then they carry and put for head now, saying na Tinubu na him build Lagos, build my foot under where. So I don't understand where this, words is coming from. All of a sudden they want to paint as if they are the Messiah. Come in the 90s and 80s, Lagos State was standard. This man came. 8 years, Lagos State destroyed. Like, thank God for people like, Fashola did a little, even though I don't respect him. Ambode came, did something. Thank God. I don't respect. Cannot regulate ourselves, and you cannot
Oh
gaslight
yeah, focus. So for you, which areas
because
has Tinubu failed in?
Tinubu has failed in every sector. Tinubu has failed in every sector. I post something on the Jumbotron, but you said we should not post something on Jumbotron. So I put it
Just
on the
put it in the
message
comments.
icon.
Put it in the
Right.
comment section.
So, yeah, it's in the comment session. This year they commissioned the Port Harcourt refinery. In fact, in all TV stations, it was shown that the refinery tanks are now departing from there. They are now picking up fuel from there, selling out. But all of a sudden, it has become scam. Even Peter Obi congratulates them at that time that we're even dragging Peter Obi for that. This thing is a scam. People, they just come scam billions. The same NMPC. In this year alone, we've recorded that they've not remitted. A lot of money has been missing. Close to like 3 point something trillion have been missing in NNPC. Yeah, you remove fuel subsidy and put Nigeria in abject poverty. You said you are doing a lot of reform. Reform my foot. You were talking about democracy. We are practicing democracy. This is the same government, minor in bad governance time that we did last year, right? This is the same government, minor, carry minor, go prison. Sue minor to court. In which country? This is the same country. Tinubu destroyed every fucking damn thing. Go to the streets now. Come to the streets here, Lekki. Come to Ajah Road. Come and see children. Now, I've been saying it on Spaces, I've been saying it on Spaces. You don't see people that are crippled or disabled people begging again in the streets of Lagos. You don't see them again. The only people you see now are able people that have hand and leg because there's no fucking job. You're talking about school. Is it the graduates? When you see a graduate, somebody that study accounts, working in a supermarket, somebody that study that you claim you are giving student loan. What student loan? Why are you giving student loan? Why can't you make the education, let it to be free? You remove subsidy, you increase school fee, you increase school fee, you remove subsidy, you increase electric tariff, you remove subsidy, You increase importation. You increase everything that matter to the common man in Nigeria. You increase it and pull out subsidy. Is that not madness? And you say you are reforming. Reforming what? Okay, remove subsidy. Why increasing other things? Why putting people in abject
So
poverty?
so 247, 247. So it doesn't seem as though we are just opposing. As a Nigerian citizen, 247. Can't you name one thing you've benefited from Tinubu's government?
Alaye, all these people have destroyed Nigeria more than the way they met it. They've destroyed Nigeria. I've not seen any single thing. The only thing I see every day by day is destruction. They destroyed every sector, every fucking damn thing. These people have destroyed. What's it? Deji, you need to come. Oh my God, you need to see the anger in every. It's just that what is paining me the most is that Nigerians don't know where to pour their anger at. They pour it on regular Nigerians. Everybody they vex. Like everybody they vex. Some of us might be privileged, to have one or two. But bro, people are fucking hungry.
Okay,
So
all right,
what thing I want try talk be say make them no just come here, come they gaslight us as if say we don't know waiting they go on for the country. You are in come on, please, because of you just want to
all right,
defend nonsense. Anyway,
all right,
I just want to say these people they failed like they failed. You remove subsidy, you are giving student loan, but you increase the school fee. Is that not madness? Why increase the school fee? Why do you
all right,
increase the school fee and give student
all
loan?
right,
Not be madness with that.
all right.
Remove
Thank,
subsidy.
thank, thank you,
I
thank you,
want
247.
to yeah
Let's
with
let's
small.
let's hear from Macnoon. Macnoon, Nigerians, according to 247, are angry. Do you are you? Can we say that the president is turning his back against Nigerians? He doesn't care, Macnoon. Okay, if Macron is not there, I
I'm the
don't know
next
who
too.
else speaks for. No, you are not even close.
Uh,
And wait. You are not next. Attitude, please go on. Macron is not there. I'll drop Macron and bring somebody else.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Deji. Good morning to everyone on the space. Thank you for keeping this on. Well, I want to say to Mrs. Kemkem that the freedom that Nigerians have will not be taken away from them. Nigerians as citizens yielded their sovereignty to this government or to a government in a democracy. And therefore, the government, which derives its power from the people, cannot threaten its citizens or not speaking truth to power. That will not happen. That sports or that case action you guys are planning to pick Nigerians up, who are vituperating and speaking of the pains they are going through, you guys will have to make it speak because we are waiting. Anyways, going forward, Nigeria is living fake life. We're broke, right? Can tell us the cost per kilometer of the coastal road that has been the 30 kilometer that has been done? Can they actually give us the breakdown? They've asked that question several times. The cost per kilometer of that road. The money spent by Wiki in renovating ICC. Can you tell us how much was used in that building in terms of the money that was paid to the contracts, the money that was used to purchase the items, and how it amounted to that amount? Also, let's go to the money spent on Shetiman's building. The point I'm trying to make is you say we are living fake life. Nigeria is broke. But the little we are earning, the one Dangote was able to help us bring from the multi refineries you built, and we're taking our oil and our byproducts too, you guys are squandering it. Oh, Buhari left the country in a mess. Tinubu received a very, very negative economic outlook. But the loans that Tinubu has taken so far, where and how has he spent this money? Because I see huge amount of money allocated and thrown at project or at policies, and we are not seeing it. Is it the CNG you took Two Face and you will love it to? Was it not India or don't know to one of those Asia countries to do? Where are the CNGs right now? Someone said Dangote bought CNGs. Dangote bought proper CNG trucks that were built, not converted trucks. The CNG initiatives, how many of the buses or how many of the federal government buses they told us they will roll out in phases? How many of them have we seen? I'm saying to you guys are a bunch of jokes. If you think Nigerians can't see through all your academic brilliance or whatever it is, you come here and you speak English and you think you can gaslight us because you can speak. If your education is not being used productively to enhance and further the cause of a nation, then it is actually diabolic. Yesterday or 2 days ago, go
But
ahead.
attitude. Are you saying you can't even mention one aspect that this president has done well?
Deji, let me help you. Let me help you. I mentioned one. Few days ago, I think it was Simi's husband, right? Adekunle Gold posted a threat to honor, appreciate people who has first class. Kemi talked about that some exceptional Nigerians who have cracked or brought out water out of the rocks. There was someone who had 4.91 CGPA, a first class honors graduate of physics. He's a tailor. Right now, his current engagement is that he's a tailor. 4.91 CGPA or whatever it's called. First class student is a tailor in this society. You are telling me that our country, our education, or our value system is right. So what is the government doing to even help? Because they are saying, oh, the ones that are outside, I don't know the term she used, the graduate, the Nigerians that school outside seem to want to feel they're superior or better than. How would a student that performs so brilliant a first class with 4.91 in physics, applied and industrial physics, is a tailor? He's not in Shell. He's not in one of our top
But,
institutions and industry.
one of the comments I saw from one of their thought leaders is that, if you are a physics student and you scored first class, like that in that form, and it is because that is what he wants to choose. He loves fashion design so much. That is really why he decided to settle for tailoring, not because he does not know what his potentials are.
Deji, in the comment section when they were throwing offers, I'm telling you that if that was to be in America, NASA will steal him. You will not even see him. They will change his name. He will become an asset. His identity will be changed. You will not even know where he is. They'll go and shoot him somewhere to start manufacturing all these technological things that you start to imagine. In his comment section, that we're actually throwing him options on how to get sponsored masters and PhD courses. He never said no. I want to be a tailor. He accepted, and he said he was going to send DMs. I'm saying the graduates that come out of our schools, these so-called people that are exceptional in this very bad system that we have in our educational system, where you go to lecture halls, the theaters are just copying on the board. You see lecture theater, 1,000 lecture theaters without a PAS, public address system. And if lecturers at the front just inscribing on the board and the students are just busy in their own corner, at the end of the class, he goes and he sells his handout, not journals, says his handout, the student will have to go and crack and do extra work. You go to their hostels and see how filthy it is. Some of the students should tell you the conditions under which they school. I saw Ghana hostels a few days ago, and I was wondering, is this UK? Is this America? So when we are poor, how poor are we compared to these other African countries around us? Let's just take West Africa, for example. We are aware that will become a stigma to Africans. Africans are beginning to race Nigerians. Our passport has lost value. You talked about the fact that Naira is rebasing itself or getting whatever value you think it is. Are we sure that we're actually producing in this society? Is our economy producing? What industry has Tinubu been able to set up since he came on? I'm not talking about people that the completed projects or the ones that were left behind. What sector, what industry has he impacted? Is it power? Is it
All right.
roads? At what cost? Aid. At what cost also?
All
At
right.
what cost?
Let Tas. I'm sure Tas has answers to all these questions. Tas, please go on. Is TAS speaking? When you were not called to speak, they interrupt everywhere. Now they don't call you. You know one talk. Anyway, um, Oyekachi, go on.
Thank you very much, Jay. I'll be very short. You see, I was enjoying the performative this thing of Hajia Kem because but there is something she said. I did not say that CNG doesn't have a more environmental advantage against PMS. But she said, I want to correct it because I saw even somebody on the comment section was trying to say that. I just want to correct that CNG does not have advantage over PMS in terms of the protection of the ozone layer. Just in 30 seconds, I know it's not the environment, but just in few seconds. On the ozone layer, ozone layer is being depleted by the production of chlorofluorocarbon that reacts reversibly with ozone in the atmosphere. That is anybody that you don't even need to be intelligent in O-level chemistry to know this. But both of them, none of them produces chlorofluorocarbon. Chlorofluorocarbon contains chlorine, fluorine, and chlorine. Both of them are halogens. And the only way you can deplete the ozone layer is if there are activities that produce chlorofluorocarbon. So the only thing that PMS produces is the ozone that is within the lower ground environment, not the atmospheric ozone that prevents the earth from getting direct UV light from the sunlight from the sun. So I did not say that she's lying. I just wanted to make correction because she surreptitiously added that in as if those of this is even my field. So that is by the way. So I've corrected that.
All right.
Sorry, Deji.
Is that all you wanted
No.
to say?
In 1 minute, in one minute
Okay,
or
okay.
1.5, I want to say this again. Like you said, Deji, that Tinubu's failure, they are numerous. But I just wanted to just touch on a little aspect of one. Tinubu has destroyed democratic institutions. You see, the thing is that when, for example, when Goodluck Jonathan declared state of emergency in Northeast region, where we had terrorist attack, Adamawa, Borunu, and Yobe. What did Tinubu say? Tinubu said that this is an affront on democracy. Goodluck Jonathan did not even remove the governors of this state. We had terrorists. In fact, Boko Haram even took over 2 local governments in these states. And this is part of what Tinubu even used to even campaign against Goodluck Jonathan. Terrorist attack by Boko Haram. But fast forward to now, what did we see? Alleged pipeline vandalism in Rivers State. That is not even, in fact, they say it is even in Bayelsa. That is not even confirmed. Tinubu declared state of emergency in Rivers State. I know my humble Hajia will come here and gaslight me again and say I'm insulting. The things that we are saying are the things that are in public domain. So, but if you want to come and gaslight us, we have the right as Nigerians to come and put things in proper perspective. It's not an insult. If you have the balls to come and defend somebody, you defend it. There is no hard feelings there. Again, Tinubu has pocketed other arms of government, the judiciary and the legislative. In that same state of emergency issue, the constitution, even though Tinubu violated the constitution by removing Simlai Fubara, even the vice president agreed with me on this, that it is unconstitutional to remove the governor of his state. They said that you are going to use the 2/3 majority of the both houses of House of Representatives and the Senate, but the Speaker Tajuddin Abbas and Akpabio used voice vote. That is Tinubu destroying democratic institutions. And when I say it, Ajay will say, "Oh, I'm insulting her." Oh, but that is exactly. Now, finally, Deji, the young lady that was in NYSC, what is that her name? Just because she criticized the government, they started threatening her. Oh, in fact, I think they even extended her stay in NYSC at the end of the day. Ultimately, they extended her stay in NYSC. They begin to insult her. Oh, she complained. Oh, the things are hard. That the NYSC allowance was not is not even enough to cater for her everyday need, and she was complaining, oh, she couldn't buy egg, oh, she couldn't buy some staple food. They were insulting her. Oh, the reason why she was complaining is because she came to Lagos to do hookup job, and that her customers are no longer paying. That's why she wanted to criticize the government. And these are some of the things we pointed out. And these are some of the, and they say, oh, we're insulting them, when we are actually pointing out the obvious, and these are shameless things to do. That is one part. So thank you very much, Deji. So we have learned now that PMS is not part of what destroys our ozone layer, just like we have been told here. Thank you.
All right, feel good. Please go on. Wait. Is Stars back? Is Stars back? I can't hear Tasso if he's speaking. Is he speaking?
No, he has not unmuted his mic. I think
No, he
he's.
has unmuted, but I can't hear him. Oh, please drop again and come back. Feel good. Please go on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, brother.
Yeah, good morning. Okay, not even afternoon with you. Good afternoon. Yeah, okay, straight to the submission. You know, what I don't like in this life is if they give you job to do and you know the job is hard, just tell them, okay, this job is hard though. I can't do it. Or come out and admit that I'm doing this job, although I know I'm doing nonsense, but I just have to do this job. Not come and start trying to gaslight us that you know what you are doing, but you are just doing nonsense. Eh? Every single thing they told you this man achieved almost have backfired. I'll give you examples. They say, oh, you have to be able to devalue the naira, now you're not subsidizing the naira again, blah, 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 blah. They said that nonsense with confidence, easy to run everywhere. Even start gaslighting you that you don't like Nigeria because you want everything free, government subsidies, blah, blah. No, they say, even tell you that the economy you're enjoying, then they're subsidizing the dollars, was a fake economy. You're living a fake life. These same people now have been revealed that they've been subsidizing the dollars with an average of $850 million monthly for the last 6 months. So throughout that period, they were gaslighting that they were not paying subsidy on the dollar. They were actually paying. So they could have been paying these subsidies all along and after devaluation, but they will not pay it to suffer Nigerians. All that devaluation, decreasing people's purchasing power, everything by devaluation of the dollar, of the naira to the dollars, all to go back and start subsidizing again. So when these people talk sometimes, it's look as if, okay, you are genuinely thinking Nigerians are stupid people that don't think, they don't reason. Somebody came here and was telling us, oh, the government this, the government that, the government this. They now mentioned CNG. Oh, it is cheaper, it is cleaner, blah, 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 blah. It's reduced cost, blah, 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 blah. Guess who needs to reduce cost the most? The government. I'm here to see police cars, government work, government automobiles, even the president's automobile converted to CNG to reduce costs. Why are they not doing it? They don't want to reduce costs. Can't they lead by example? Or maybe it's actually not safe. And they're not telling us it's not safe. So when they come and gaslight you, do you have a mirror to look at yourself? Because you're looking very foolish with what you're doing. But you still do it anyway. Let me go further again. Petroleum subsidy. They'll say, oh, now they are not paying subsidy, we now have more money to give to the states, blah blah. Ah gosh, and look at it, okay. Do you know the states have gotten poorer because of that your removal of social subsidy that you're talking about? The real value of money has reduced. I don't know what these people even think. Like for example, let me break it down, make it as granular as possible. Hmm? The states before were getting, let's say they're getting 10 billion. The states were getting 10 billion. Right now, they're getting 15 billion because of the removal of subsidy. That's 50% increase in real value. But guess what? Because of that removal of first subsidy, the expenses, the cost of running that state has increased by 100%. So what they should be getting to be in that position that they were in before you removed the subsidy was what? 20 billion. Also, close to 20 billion. We are giving them 15 billion, and you are telling them to see undertake the same tax we were taking before and even improve on their tax now because you are giving them more money. You see how stupid you are dealing with here. But they come with this argument every time. They say, oh no, your state's getting more money, now go and face your state government. Wouldn't that time they remove the subsidy and now? The cost of this, the cost of the cost of this thing, personnel alone, has increased by 100% in the states because they have to increase minimum wage by at least 80%. They'll not tell you that one. The cost of road construction have increased by 70%. I can remember that the PDP era, then I think let me not use the word PDP because that thing used to bump some people's brain. Pre 2015, per kilometer of road at state level was 100 million naira. Now a kilometer of road, if you're into contracting, per kilometer is 1.5 billion. 15 times the cost. Are they getting 15 times what they were getting on that PDP? I mean, pre 2015. If their side, they've gotten poorer. Lagos State, then I keep telling people this thing. Lagos State, then, under Fashola, then, was doing 30 billion naira monthly with revenue. 30 billion naira then was $200 million. $200 million now is about 300 and something billion naira. 300 and something billion. The entire Lagos State government budget, it's never up to 4 trillion. 330 billion times 12, not to be 4 trillion. Entire Lagos State government is up to 4 trillion. But that's what Lagos is getting from internal revenue alone, not even federal allocation and other things. Just internal revenue alone. But Lagos State is doing budgets about 2 point something trillion that they're not even balancing. Means Lagos State are getting poorer, progressively poorer. But they come and tell you, oh, now we're getting more money. No, they think we are talking to fools that don't know economics. The economy keeps going down every single day. Your purchasing people will come here and start saying you don't hate the government, you're not supporting the government, you're not patriotic, you're not this. But we are seeing the reality every your brain properly screwed on. You cannot tell me that the to fools, yeah? Every single thing they tell you to clap for this man for is the reason why she won't be fighting him. They tell you, oh, he's doing coastal road. This man actually took 1 trillion naira to do a coastal road that was not meant to be a priority. He went and deposited 1 trillion naira as counterpart funding for coastal road. 1 trillion naira can do the Lagos Ibadan Expressway, can do the Benin Ore Expressway. It can even, if I invest that money not only South, only Ogun State roads alone, you have done the economy a very big favor. A very big favor. But coastal road that you don't need urgently priority, you carry 1 trillion and go and put it there. I think Nigerians must clap for you for coastal road that you don't need at this point. Priorities. Someone say, oh no, the president, I mean, quickly address this, the vice presidential law that they built. That project was supposed to start under Yagadua. Then Goodluck Jonathan, the Senate under David Mark rejected it. Yeah, they said that project. Their own House of Reps and their own Senate rejected that project. But you carry it and do it. Like PDP road that are killing people every day, I can put that money into. And someone that came and say, oh, you not do other abandoned projects. See the kind of stupidity you are dealing with. Like Ogun State alone, Ogun State, I play Ogun State very well. Ogun State will carry that 25 billion naira. Put it on roads in Ogun, federal roads in Ogun State. Ogun State will have very, very, very new. Do you know how many times people trucks are falling in Ogun State federal roads, and Ogun State like an industrial hub in Nigeria here. Priorities. You say, oh, you want to reduce cost of governance, but you have the record highest cabinet in the history of Nigeria. Not in the history of Nigeria since 1999, in the history of Nigeria, ever in the history, even militaries have not do reach you. 50 and counting. 50 ministers. What are you doing 50 ministers? And record number of personal assistants. In fact, a personal assistant came out and said, a special advisor came out and said, they call me special advisor, but I've not seen the president before. That's why I resigned. Like someone that's meant to advise you, I've not seen you before. Almost 2 years in your administration, I've not seen you to advise you. So should that position is just to give food for the boys, not that they do anything there. So you are wasting money and complain there's no money and tell Nigerians to suffer because there's no money. You have no problem feeding your ego and your political class. When Nigerians say we want this one, you say no, you can't have it because you're like living fake life. You don't subsidy, we cannot give you subsidy. Make it make sense. This is the stupidity we are dealing with when it comes to this Tinubu administration. Okay, I can see your hand. There's nothing like commonsensical economic policy when it comes to the Tinubu administration. All over the world, when their economy is shrinking, the government takes the hit, not the people. Government takes the hit, so the people can what? Can feel some kind of reprieve. What they simply do is that they do what they call an expansionary monetary and fiscal policy. It means they open up the economy to new possibilities. They encourage producers. They encourage people that add value to the economy, so they can increase their purchasing power for companies. Increase their retained earnings, so they can reinvest in the economy, create more jobs and the rest. But what does the government do? They will increase your taxes. They don't
We have a lot of people are requesting for mine so that a lot of people can have opportunity to speak. Thank you, if you good morning, I
So
trust you fine. Thank you, everybody.
I'm all,
Yeah, Taz, don't worry, I'll call you immediately after 10/10, right? So that I can react to two of them too.
sorry, I want to go to the mosque, please, if I can just make the submission,
No,
please.
All right,
let him go. I'll go after him.
all right, Mr. Taz, you can go on, sir.
Thank you, appreciate that. A lot has been said, and it's quite interesting that at least we're having a conversation that is intellectually driven to a great extent. Yeah, a lot of people speak towards their political leanings and all that, but most importantly, there is no government in the world that does not have a failure. Yeah, a lot more. No administration in the world that does not have a failure. But I think the best yardstick to judge any government is after the time they've been mandated to be in government for. So this government has been in government for 2 years. Yeah. After 4 years, that's when we can have an aggregate summary of the performance, and that's more like a more principled approach to evaluate any government as it goes. So, but I would like to say as well that it's quite interesting that we talked about the palliatives, about removal of subsidy and all that. Unfortunately, Nigerians have failed again to direct accountability and responsibility and the focus on the federal alone. The federal government gave grants to the state, 5 billion each, to the state governors. Have you asked what they've done with that money? The federal government also distributed grains and all that to the state governors. Have you asked what they've done with that? In fact, I can remember as well, every House of Representative and Senator were given trucks of grain in hundreds to distribute to their constituencies. Have you asked how they went with that? Now, subsidy that we were borrowing to pay for, Kemke had explained that it's unfortunate that some people felt we had money for subsidy. We never had. We didn't have money for subsidy. We were borrowing to pay for that. As that when PMB appropriated for subsidy, we're owing NMPC 2.8 trillion naira, where the government was owing the corporation. So we didn't have money to pay for subsidy. We're borrowing to pay for subsidy in a state or a country where we were also borrowing 50% to fund our budget. So where is the sense of intellectual comparisons and making informed analysis has come from? There is global inflations everywhere. Everywhere is experiencing huge outcomes that came with not paying for subsidy, not borrowing to pay for subsidy, is to increase the allocations to the states. And the federal government has said, I'm going to triple or quadruple the amount of money coming to your state. Feel good. I hope this will make you feel good. Yeah, you've talked about the value of money depreciating, yeah, due to a lot of government policies. But at least, have you asked yourself that quadrupled amount that is going to the state? Have you asked where, how they've spent those money? How have you listen? We've always common spaces, federal government, federal government, federal government. Have you asked yourself, what does the state do with that money? What does the local government that have had autonomy does with their money? And when money comes to the center, it's been split between the three tiers of government. Yeah. When look at the latest tax VAT sharing formula as well. Nigeria would dodge the bullet as well because just 10% comes to the federal, right? 50% and the other 30% is being shared within the states. You will not ask those questions about the state. You only focused about the central government and you want to expect change. You will never see change. You will never see impact. You will never see. It's not a curse or anything, but it's because we've refused to demand accountability and responsibility for those that were elected.
Nigga,
If
what the
there are
fuck are
no
you
money,
talking about, family?
if
Why are you here
listen, if there are
sounding
no
like
money,
fucking Eagle
can
Pig
you
good?
keep
Like, the
short,
fuck is
please?
wrong with you, gang?
Shosha, good morning. I trust you fine, sir. You see, let him have his opportunity to have his say. There are a lot of people here that will counter him. Said I can give it to you. There are a lot of people that will counter him. But let him just have his say. You know, I think it's one of I hope you'll be around. You get the point. So, Tas, I'll give you 2 minutes again to round up your thoughts. Thank you so much, sir.
So, Feel Good will have a lot to say about what I've said, but he's more intelligent than someone from the Sahel, calling himself social and all that.
I will not appreciate you insult anybody. I respected that you will respect yourself. I spoke with Shosha to calm. You have to be calm. Please, in the name of God you serve, don't do this. You're going to must to go serve God. So is that how you serve God? Please stop this. I don't want you to insult anybody. Just speak to the discussion you're having already and leave anybody who is smart or who is not smart. Thank you.
I appreciate that. I just understood.
You actually sound like you banged your head on the floor, you fucking idiot. Like, do you?
Social, I understand how it is. Please, I beg in the name of God, please. Please.
Has its, inefficiencies and areas where you could nip and say they've not done really well, they've failed and all that. Yeah, we understand that. No government is perfect. Look at the tribute to PMB, a man that was so patriotic, gave his all in his life to the
You have
country
you have 1 minute
and not.
left, sir.
Yeah, thank you for that. And even before he was buried, a lot of people have started saying how he mismanaged the country, and that's life for you. Yeah, you can give man everything he's wanted. Yeah, but you always do your best. We've got a population of 250 million. Well, I'm asking people to use their rational thinking and demand accountability from every tiers of government, everybody having access to the revenue of the country, the state government, the federal government, the local government. They share this money, ask them what they do with your money, because if you only focused about what the federal is doing with their money, you would never see
All right.
change. You would never see impact.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you so much. Feel good. Please, 1 minute to react to the issues. Feel good. Are you there?
Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm surprised you even gave me time. Thank you. Let me be very fast about it. I corrected this thing
He
initially,
called your
but they
name.
still
He
come
called
out
your name.
with it again.
He called
Can you
your
hear me?
name. Yeah. Yeah. I said he called your name earlier. Yeah. Continue.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. I corrected this thing before, but he still repeated it again. I just believe they have to repeat this thing every time because that's what they told them to do. There was no time in the issue of Tinubu administration till now that the allocation to states quadrupled. It never even doubled. The highest it went was 50% increase. As if you're getting 10 naira before you now get 15 naira. That's the highest it has gone. It has never quadrupled. Never. Bring the evidence here and I'll lift it up for you.
I
It
feel
has
good. A lot of
never
them are getting
quadrupled.
less if you change it into dollars. They're not even getting what they used to get. This
Exactly what I'm
fucking
saying.
idiot,
Exactly what
he
I'm
don't
saying.
know nothing. Don't even pay attention to him with his fake fucking accent. Nigga, speak like a Nigerian like you is, you fucking idiot. Sorry, feel good.
Yeah, thank you. So they devalue the currency or the value of the naira by 100%. Or let me just put it in layman's terms. They devalue the purchasing power of your naira by 100% and increase the naira they are giving you by 50%. Are you richer? Are you now poorer? What if they buy you for 10 naira? The price increased to 20 naira. Your papa give you 15 naira now. The money they don't increase that, but can you afford that thing again? The answer is no. So that's what APC is telling you to celebrate. They're still going to hold your governor accountable. And they don't even know what they mean by hold your governor accountable. I don't know what they mean by hold your governor accountable. According to the constitution, federal government have their own role to play, separate from what the governors are meant to do. If my secondary school or secondary schools in my state are bad, I will not hold Tinubu responsible for that. If the primary schools in my state are bad, I will not hold Tinubu responsible for that. If pipe-borne water is not in my state, I will not hold Tinubu responsible for that. Eh? If the state is dirty, I will not hold Tinubu responsible for when they're saying Lagos is dirty that and this somebody holding Tinubu responsible as the president. They're holding someone responsible. But if you are telling me the economy is tanking, that is where the federal government comes in. Because what? They control the monetary policy through the CBN and the fiscal policy through the Federal Executive Council and the National Executive Council. So it is purely the federal government responsibility to what? To reimburse the economy. But you will never want us to hold them responsible for the economy. Even the governors are looking up to the federal government to take the right economic decisions so it can favor their states. But you will come here and say, I should hold my own governor responsible. For what? For the federal government job? And someone came here and said, oh, they gave grains to the... See, I was not in the meeting where the federal government decided that they will use their own resources. They'll give their own resources to the states to carry out XYZ for them. So the federal government that carry my money and give to the states to carry out their... That should go and ask the total doing with the money. It's not me. I hold the federal government responsible.
All right, sir. Thank you so
So let
much,
me...
sir.
No, last one. Okay, no, so let me not abuse your... Let me not abuse your... This. Let me stop here.
Thank you. Just be around. Just be around. 10/10. 10/10, sir.
Yeah, my able,
Ẹ sir.
yeah, my brother, my able lawyer.
Yeah.
I greet you. What an interesting topic here. You see, first of all, Donayo, very unfortunate. I let this not so feel so good. The speaker before him, unfortunately, I let him go, but he wasn't able to do that damage to my brain. So Tinubu's many failures. You see, Deji Self was so nice to call it failure. Me, I call it a disaster. And Tinubu is a disaster that Nigerians should not let happen the second time. It's an affliction like those of us Christians that you shouldn't let happen to you the second time. If we leave this space running, bro, from now till tomorrow, you will keep entertaining people with different areas Tinubu has failed in. And if, for me, so I can let others to go, we all have our shares of how Tinubu's failure has affected us. I'll be very brief. Odunayo, do you know that? I think Deji is not there. Do you know that if we divide how much we are owing in our debt, national debt, you, Odunayo, you owe about 600 and something thousand to pay. Deji, the same thing. Why? Because Tinubu has put us in more debt and nothing to show for it.
Does it include Amajiri? Does Amajiri
You
include?
understand? We're looking at the population of 240 million. If you divide it by 160 trillion, 149 trillion that they say we owe. I don't know you they owe, and your wife they owe, your parents they owe 600 and something thousand. Now, Tinubu, when he took over, when he took office in 2023, our total debt, of course, was it is around 87 trillion. But by September 2024, that figure rose to 142 trillion. And in that same year, around December, that figure rose to 144. So what I'm just saying is, as we speak now, we owe between 54 to 62 trillion in just 2 years of this lunatics administration. Right now, that's what we are owing. So on the part of debt, we have completely gone another direction, and there is nothing to show for those humongous figures that this man has continuously borrowed. That's on the part of our national debt. That's a one failure I think I'm seeing at this point too. Let me also go to the area that I don't know how many people have mentioned it. The part of insecurity. This one now, I will give Guardian of 20 May 29, 2025 has it, according to Amnesty International, that over 10,000 Nigerians have died. Over 10,000 Nigerians have lost their lives since Tinubu came to power. Just Tinubu, just in 2 years and few months. And those deaths you have from armed groups, banditry, communal clashes, and terrorism under this administration. El Rufai just came up with that um, info, information about how this government is deducting 100 billion monthly from the federation account on what? Now, I go to another part again, rule of law. Oyekachi, thank you so much for mentioning that part. So I'll be very brief with it. Rule of law, Odunaya, at least, I'm happy you are a lawyer. You see the damage this guy is doing to a profession you guys swear to defend. All of a sudden, Section 305, which me and you have had interactions on, all of a sudden, defender of democracy woke up one morning and declared state of emergency in a state where he does not even have the power to remove a duly elected councillor. For what reason? Personal reasons, because he
You have 1 minute. You have 1 minute, sir.
yeah, complete fission of power, where the government goes to National Assembly and instead of singing the national anthem, they are singing on your mandate we shall stand. Far, I've not seen one person that we can say, okay, Tinubu stands to fight corruption, and this is a scapegoat that he's using to fund it. So, in my own assessment so far, there is nothing. There is nothing Tinubu.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I will draw a line. I wasn't here when um, Deji drew. I don't know that there was a line first of all, so I will draw a line that is equitable. Please, if you find yourself behind, I'm sorry, it's not deliberate. It's just how somebody have to speak and all that. So, but before I do so, let me highlight something very fundamental. So, in my office in Nigeria, we try to create what can reduce corruption in Nigeria. How do we fight corruption in Nigeria? One of the things we need to do also bring out a policy statement on advisory notes to government. So we did the critical research and went to countries, India, China, Vietnam, and Peru, and what they have done and what they were doing to be able to fight poverty. But the question is, what is the Nigerian policy on poverty? What is the Nigerian national policy on youth employment? Right? What's our policy on agriculture? You get the point. So are we sitting down to say what's our policy in our curriculum in education? Like what kind of education do we want to have in the next 10 years? Just in like looking at what we have today. These are the issues that I think that any government, you don't even need to be a perfect person. Just bring out this policy, then drive it through. In 5 years, you're able to say, okay, this is where we are. We'll be measuring the policy statement where we are on this policy, where we have advisory persons who are monitoring this progress of these policies. So that by the time you have spent 4 years, you're able to know where you are. But somebody said, oh, Tinubu has 4 years. So until 4 years, that's what we can do so. Anyway, Tinubu himself does not believe in what you are saying. Because 2012, January 1st, Tinubu himself set out Nigerians with a complete disobedience to what is truth. So somebody like us, people like us were moved to the street to go protest for subsidy. And they talk about first subsidy. Tinubu did not wait for Jonathan to spend 4 years to do protest, right? That's first thing. Two, Tinubu did not wait for Nigerians, wait for Jonathan to remove subsidy, and he removed the subsidy 10 years after he removed the subsidy, he removed it. You know what he did? It is not seen as a doyen of politics by that remover. They say he's doing something right. I don't understand what the intention is. If somebody protested against something 10 years ago, 10 years after, that same person removed that same thing that he protested against, and you say we should celebrate him for doing so, what kind of person is he? Is he a hypocritical action or something that I don't even understand the English I will place it as? But that's not how it is. But sure. Tina will be here. Tina, Ebenezer, are you here? Ebenezer will take second. Jimmy, Nicholas, Dijomi, third. Adagun Odo will be four, right? Mr. Dawood will be five. Yeah, so we'll take it that way. So that's how it is. So, Social, you speak. Tina will speak second. Ebenezer will speak third. Nicola will speak fourth. Adagun will speak fifth. As the case may be right now. Thank you so much, Social.
Oh yeah, Tinubu is an absolute failure. Total failure, even he knows it, right? I mean, nothing that man touches, yeah, doesn't turn out to be shit. Yeah, anything he puts his hand on turns out to be shit. I knew he was going to be rubbish, right? From he went on stage to tell people, Bala blue, blue, bulaba. I knew we were in trouble, right? Because there is no way any thinking person would say that. And then he went to one of those states one time and he was telling us the story about the lizard's wife, right? Like, what did that have anything to do with anything? It didn't have anything to do with anything. He was in another state, they were playing the national anthem. He got paranoid and put his hands up. Yeah, that is how I know this man, he don't have it upstairs. Yeah, so people that are coming and telling you, oh, Tinubu knows what he's doing, even they don't know what they're doing if they think that Tinubu knows what he's doing. He hasn't got a clue. He hasn't got a clue, right? The only thing he knows how to do is go around begging. He went BRICS begging. He goes UN begging, everywhere begging. That's all he does. He doesn't know how to improve no economy. Yeah, since he come, every Nigerian is now poorer. Yeah, every Nigerian is poorer. Yeah, if not 5 times poorer than they used to be, right? Because if you had 100,000, I say this every time. If you had 100,000 in 2014, guess how much dollars you had? Yeah, but if you have 100,000 in Nigeria today, like it's like having 10,000 back in 2014. It's not going to do anything, right? You can't even buy enough dollars with that. I don't even think you can get $50 if you're lucky. Right, so I don't understand anybody who comes here and wants to praise Tinubu. Tinubu is a total failure, and he is not coming out of this failure. Yeah, because he jumped into it with his 2 feet. Yeah, he's stuck in that failure now. He's always been a failure anyway. Even in Lagos, he was a failure. Right, the only thing he's good at is stealing people's glory. He's a glory thief. Right, he stole people's glory in June 12th. Right? He did that shit. He wasn't among them people. He claimed to be part of them people, but now we figured man out. Yeah, he is a phony, a fraud, a scam artist. Yeah, that is all he knows how to do. Look at the people around him, for goodness sake. Because you know they say, show me your friends, I'll tell you who you are. His chief of staff. It's a thief. He stole a disabled person money from America and he ran away. And that is the person Tinubu for, oh, come and be my chief of staff. Yeah? I mean, just imagine. Everybody around this man is a criminal, and you want to tell me this man is not a criminal. Yeah? Nah, he's a big failure. And you know where Tinubu's failure started? Tinubu's failure started when he was a lot younger. Yeah? When he decided to change his name, to abandon his father's name, he's like, I am not my father's child. I want to be Kafaru Tinubu's child, and I want to be my. He has completely uh, eliminated his father. And that is where it starts. You eliminate your father, you eliminate your history, you eliminate anything good about you. And that is what has happened to Tinubu. So he would not come out of this failure till he begins to accept the person that he is. Sango Dele Amoda Ogulere. Yeah? He needs to accept that nigga. Like, you cannot keep hiding Sango Dele. Yeah? No matter how many things you name Bola Tinubu, Sango Dele is still there, family. Yeah? Sango Dele is inside and he's busting to come out. Yeah, I'll stop there. But we're going to find Sango Dele. Please, Mr. Otonai, thank you very much.
You be like second wife. When they react to issues, when they oppress, they try to react to your right, say, have my right, have my right. Tina, are you there, sir? Dekule.
Yeah, thank you, humanity.
Yeah, how are you,
Yeah,
sir?
yeah,
I
thank
greet you,
you,
sir. He
humanity.
said that humanity, you're a great man. I remember that one. That's a great name. Tinubu make you answer humanity. That's how people destroy Nigeria. You have to answer humanity.
So honestly, listening to Kem Kem, I feel like crying. Um, Honestly, just so a lot of things that she was just saying, there is a lot of lies about how government, why they have to remove subsidy because we were borrowing, because we were living fake life, and then because they will just tell us that naira is 400 and something to a dollar, but we don't really have it. So in order to dispel a lot of their lies, I will tell you that because Buhari government was very conversant about giving dollar to the right people that need it for the right reasons. You understand? He has a trade system website whereby you can apply for Form Q, Form A. And though the turnaround time may be a little bit higher because maybe like 20 days or 20 something days, but at the end of the day, you will surely get that $9 at that rate. For students that were paying school fees, people that were importing cars, people that were importing a lot of things they need to manufacture in the economy, they were still getting it. Like that's to tell you that people to an extent, Buhari is still, he has a lot of woman side to him, and he believes like this Nigeria cannot take this economic policy of saying they should float the naira, willing buyer, willing seller, because this man know the metrics when it comes to these things. But one of the problem I felt is that even when the dollar oil was selling at $30 per barrel or $40 per barrel, and his income was doing due to that particular factor. One of the major reasons why I fought Buhari where he didn't do it was he was supposed to curb corruption and stop wasteful spending. Because wasteful spending is the reason why They were borrowing money then, you understand, to do whatever I want to do, but they were not tying it to productive projects. There was a lot of wasteful spending under that administration. You understand? That's one area he should have looked at, you understand? But he failed to look at it, and that is one of his lapses and his flaws. But if you look at this particular present government that tell you, okay, we don't want to borrow in order to make sure that we can know the real value of our economy and we can continue to pay sacrifice so that it will yield fruit in the future. My brother, um, on the external debt side, side of the economy, they left this man $40.8 billion in terms of the loan we are owing externally. So you would think they will tell you, oh, we are not borrowing. Oh, now we are paying IMF loan. We are not really owing. We don't want to borrow because we can't continue to borrow for subsidy. Go and check the figure as at March 31, 2025. It is now 45.9 billion. In fact, as at December, it was 45.3, but now it is now $45.9 billion in terms of external loan side. And you want to understand, like, okay, if we are saving and we don't want to subsidize, we want officer by 50% in order to show that you are really sacrificing and you will join us. Because at the end of the day, Nigerians are paying with their life in order to survive with the economy. So why can't the political leader cut all their salaries, starting from the president down to the governor, down to the local government chairman, cut it by half? You understand? So that our recurrent expenditure will drop. But no. But you know what they will do? They still continue to buy the same cars. And in order for that, yes, please, I want to ask, how many people here have seen that particular conversion centers in Nigeria? From the last figures I have, they were saying they have 317 CNG centers in the PICNG website. But he is not willing to lead by example by cutting his own salary and the public officers in political line by 50%. But they still keep on borrowing and they are tying their borrowing to non-productive usage. I repeat again, non-productive usage. The ICC center, how is that going to be productive in the economy? The 25 billion they in the north and place where they are farming. I think I will just round it up here. I have many things, but I can't I can't
No, but
contain to come.
just there around openly. You get the point. That's right. Will call. I will call you again, please. Yes, so that right can speak in. Yeah, I greet you, sir.
Yeah,
How are you, sir?
yeah, fine, fine. You see, sometimes I was just like, I used to wonder, like, why are we pretending to all sorts of things that he has said against Jonathan is what they kept doing, even more than. We can see so many things, so many good things going around in Jonathan era. Me, I don't want to. I won't be talking about he did this, he did that. What I want to say is that this man failed woefully because why are we pretending to know what is like? We know this thing is not right because we are getting some of these people that are defending these people are getting paid. That's just it. That's just the fact. They are getting paid. Imagine APC as of today are still blaming PDP of about 10 years ago for their failure. Like we move one step forward and 100 steps backward. One step forward, 100 steps backward, and we begin to like defend it. I was seeing people like, but what me I just want to tell everybody is that me so many times I used to like say this reality, but people will believe that if care is not taken, we will still be on this discussion till 2031, and this man will reclaim this mandate in 2027 because there's no coalition. Even the coalition that we are seeing now is not coalition because people are not agreeing. And these people are the ones sponsoring these people. Like, I won't be disappointed if Peter Obi did not join this coalition. I won't be disappointed because, and I was seeing something this morning. I don't know how true is it that PDP is they are making arrangement to invite Peter Obi to call him again to do this. Now that means I was telling those people that.
Benita, please go straight to what we are discussing. Now, when we talk about coalition or all this argument of politics, we'll bring in. We are specifically focusing on Tinubu, many failures. You get the point. So you're a Nigerian. You can talk about how Tinubu has affected you as a person. Because when you personalize these issues, it will make more sense. How has it personally affected you as a person? So let's speak on it, sir. Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry for that. So, but how this man has affected me personally, this as a young graduate, when I graduated, I don't even because I graduated around this APC regime. I don't even. I'm not seeing any hope because they kept lying every day. What I just want to say is that it is affecting. What I just want to say is that it is affecting. I always against this APC just because of this one Tinubu. Since 2015, they are doing this. Since 2015, they are doing this campaign. I said, if Buhari is good, what about his environment? His environment is not. People are saying even the Buhari is not even good. He don't have any good record, but people kept defending. But my issue is that why are we Nigeria cannot even stand our ground? Like say what is right, like say the truth, and let the truth set us free. Like this man is a failure. Let us call it a failure. It has failed in every parastatal. There's no anywhere that this man. Okay, for instance, a issue of local government. They said the local government autonomy. There's no mention one state that the local government that has a working local government in Nigeria. They are receiving this allocation directly from federal government since they are counting this local government autonomy as part of this man achievement, which is very, very wrong. I don't have much to say, but this one is a failure. That's just my point.
All
Anybody
right.
is defending this man is a
All
failure
right.
to me.
So sorry that you didn't get a job as a person. It's quite unfortunate most of the time. So, Mr. Adogun, Mr.
Thank you
Adogun,
very, thank you very economy environment. If they can utilize that concurrent list, Nigeria is very big that we will leave everything. So most of the problem we have at the local level belongs to the component states and local governments. So if you look at it very well, the issue of electricity, I'm very sorry. I think the failure came mostly from Jonathan. It is the issue of patronage. Most people are, but imagine is the. I'm not an expert in that field, but I can see what he did from the scratch. But people that were handed over any of the disco to Batenaji. So it is the system. It's not majorly on individual. So I believe that virtually all the government until we change the system. Someone said that they keep on blaming past government. Let me explain. Obasanjo, Soludo inclusive, they blame Okojo Wala and President Jonathan. Obasanjo cleared all the debt. Modern economic ruins started after that. Nigeria economy ruins.
you have
They laid the foundation of that.
you have 1 minute, sir. Mr. Adogun.
Because I'm talking, you don't like what I'm saying. Okay, no problem.
This
No
is a
problem.
cheap blackmail. It's 5 minutes I give everybody, right? I give everybody 5
Five,
minutes. So
five,
don't,
over five, five. Let me use the 1 minute.
I don't care. I don't care about
Let,
what you are saying. That's the honest
let,
truth. I
let,
don't
let
even
me
care. That's the
let me
honest truth.
finish.
Yeah.
Please, thank you. So when he wiped out the debt, he now said that I left $62 billion. So Jonathan sold $150 per barrel, $150 per barrel, and he sold $2.5 million, almost 2 years. The record is there. So where's the money? We're supposed to start on a clean slate, but we didn't see any money. Okonjo-Iweala cannot do that when she was working with Obasanjo. They won't allow that. But Jonathan was manipulated. Where is the money? Obasanjo wiped out Paris Debt Club, Paris Debt Club, or what they call it, Paris Club debt. It started afresh, but we lost everything, every opportunity. It is the system. The system is the major problem to check impunity. That's the only thing I can say. The system, until we go back to regionalism, we will be able to do something. We will see the result. That's what I can say. Thank you very much.
Adogun, you can stay around. I will still call you in so that other people will speak. You get the point. If you have other things you want to say, you get the point. So don't think anybody want to
Uh,
hold you. I don't get. I
we
don't get.
can assess what this school has been doing. That's why I compare it relatively in the
No,
Batinaji.
you know why your opinion is quite very worrisome for me
Yes,
is that Tinubu amended the police act last year in
yes.
3 days.
No.
So if
The
they can
record is
amend it,
there.
if
It was
hold on now,
Buhari,
hold on now,
the first person
hold on
that
now,
benefited from it.
hold on now. It was
Yes.
last year here, not anybody that benefited from it. Last year here, just last year. It was lastly amended before last year in 2020.
No,
But
the record
Tinubu
is there.
amended it.
Buhari amended it. But
No,
Buhari,
listen now. Listen first of
yes,
all.
yes,
2020 they
yes,
amended the 2020 during COVID-19, right?
yes,
It was a reform to improve the system. Last year, Tinubu amended it. You know what we want to achieve? Just to
yes,
make sure that the IG of police stay beyond his time.
yes,
That's just the
yes.
intention. So
I
if you
understand.
think,
It's
okay,
true. It's true. It's true.
so
But what I'm saying is that it
which
was Buhari that amended it, but Tinubu implemented it.
no, listen
The
to
record
me.
is there.
Listen, can you hear me? No, no, no,
Tinubu
no,
I am
did
no.
not
person of record,
implement.
though.
Tinubu they amend.
You see, my problem with you, you don't listen. Listening is a very important key when you speak. Tinubu himself amended the police act last year, 2024. So go use your phone, ask the police act 2024. That's what it will give you. Before that last year, it was amended 2020, and the improvements were very noble. You get the point. But last year, Tinubu amended for only one reason, which is to amend it to the police IG to stay beyond his time. The police IG ought to have left office last year, but Tinubu made sure that he stayed beyond his time. So he supposed to leave office early last year, but Tinubu amended it so that he should stay beyond his time. So if Tinubu can amend the Police Act 2024, that system you're talking about, Tinubu can do so too. And if he fails to do so too, it is the president or president that can influence the National Assembly today that is singing on your mandate that can do so, not me and you here. So when you defend Tinubu and call Jonathan, I call Obasanjo, I call that person behind him, Tinubu had the same power they had, and he's not doing anything different. So thank you. Have a great time. So I'm not here to make you happy. Um, who did I call last, please?
I
Okay.
guess
Okay. Mr. Dawood, please. Sorry, sir. You can speak now, sir. Thank you.
okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are speaking from. I remember my humble self, Mukhtar Dawood with NLID, and I'm saying my full names just in case anybody needs to arrest me. I can drop my full details too. Now let's come back to you can't get a bag of cement for 10,000 naira anywhere. Now you have jobs to do, you've had bill of quantities that you have done, and the price has skyrocketed. Now it will interest you to know that transportation, maybe between 100, 200 kilometers was maybe an average of 100 to 300,000 for a truck of cement to be delivered to a location. Now you pay almost 600, 800,000 for that same truck to be delivered. Now, what you have done is that most projects have stopped, and whether you like it or not, you are losing money and you can't make more money. Now, let's go to the scenario of CNG. They touted the CNG as something that was going to work. I was one of the first person because I have an open mind, and everybody was scared that no, they can't. Same with Gombe, and I can name a couple of other places I traveled to. Now, people tend to shout that the president has increased salaries, minimum wages have been increased, and it is 70,000 naira. What is the population of Nigerians that you are giving? You have given, let's say, 500,000. I want to make it 1 million for you for free. How many kids are writing JAM every year? 1.7 million. So what we are saying is that in a school that has year 1 to year 4, we have maybe an average of 10 million kids or 10 million students, because they are no longer kids, in higher institutions. I have given, let's assume, they have not even done and I'll give you an example because some of us are actually close to government. There is no governor today that does not. Now you are talking about increase. The increase to dollar rate, it's the dollar parity. Every market day, we hear that once FEC is paid, the whole zone 4 is bustling everywhere, bureau they change, everybody knows that the market. Once, if you want to know that FEC has paid and the federal government has paid, just wait till some 20 something and just go and sit around zone 4. You are going to know that this the money has landed. And is there anybody that they are not tracking? Follow the money. Nobody's following the money. Now you get to talk about security. My state is as insecure as anywhere. People can no longer go to their farms. A state that has been relatively in peace. We never had any communal clash. We don't have anybody. Yet the state has been overrun. Now, the worst part about it is that it is so suppressed that the media doesn't even carry it. There are videos that I can send that people even record. These are the bandits entering their town. They enter their town till they pick them up and take them to wherever they are taking them to. Some of them still have their phones on, meaning there is service. And yet we say we have drones. This was the same military that Buhari gave $1 billion to. Does anybody have an idea what $1 billion is? Some of those things are not yet on ground, and nobody is being held accountable. Yes, in Buhari's case, everybody thought he's no longer with us, so the problem is now on our shoulders. Everybody always thought that, okay, he left everybody to do as they please. What is this current guy doing? Is everybody not doing as they please? I cannot name more than 5 ministers in this current administration out of 50 of them or 60 of them, and I'm not doing it because I don't want to do it, but it's because they don't even ring a bell, because I don't even see them doing anything. Some of the ministers I saw yesterday was because I got reminded that they were ministers when they were speaking, paying tribute to the late president. I can't even say what they were doing. Let me take you a little bit back to the Jonathan government when some people want to point fingers. The same Jonathan government 300%, not 100, 500, 1,000 naira before. You go to those same places for 3,000 naira. Dangote recently released the statistics that the total amount of fuel being
It's
consumed.
round up that
And indulge me and let me just add this on it. As we speak, there is no hospital in Nigeria today that is functional, that can do anything for you, whether it is a tertiary hospital. Just name the place for me. Is it the Ahmadu Bello Teaching Hospital in Shika? Everywhere is dilapidated. Contractors have not been paid since 2024. Some of us have payments that have been waiting for over 1 full year, extending a budget of 2024 in mid-2025 to December. Come off it now. Let's tell ourselves the truth. I'll hang on for a while. I'm here. I have headache as I'm speaking to you. People are dying off almost every other day. You get news.
is a Dino, your contact will be quite is a Dino, your contact will be quite like failing. I know I've brought you up several times. Human brain is
Yeah,
phases.
good afternoon. Good afternoon.
You said what? If I want
Do
to
you
know
have
whether
to be highly educated, as in may you
no
get
no no
master
no
or
no
may you get degree in economy
no
to
no
know whether a government
no
is failing or not?
no. My mother's birthday is 8 years. birthday next week Sunday, and I can tell you very well.
There's no one know your this thing that come here and come and speak better than Ghanaian English. I don't understand. He say we don't know economy. They will come and tell you don't know anything about economy something. You see, okay, they claimed, okay, let me just use this analogy. You have a company that you feel like is not doing well, is running aground, there are issues. You employ someone who promised you, sell you snake. The person is now giving you excuse. And the person wey dey here before, don't do like this, don't do like this. Like that. But now, if you no get to reach 2,000, I beg you, just the one yourself. So, like someone said about cement here in Akure is 10,500 from 4,000 2 years ago. So I'm just saying, tomato 2 years ago per basket, 6,000, we are shouting. Today, tomato is 25,000 to 30,000. Rice, 33,000 when Buhari was living. Today now, 75. At one point, it's 200,000. To do is now hovering around 75, 60,000. Beans, the same thing. All of them, 500% increase. Spag. So I don't need to become as every aspect of this thing, even health issues. Recently, my mother as Buhari is still they do empower small things. I still remember the ITF that I used to learn the work I'm doing. Now under Buhari, I do that ITF. What is this man doing? Nothing. Spend this lavish 39 billion to do the innovation of ICC. One woman came here and said, because you are collecting one small salary under Tinubu government. So Tinubu has a lot of, you cannot even speak, say it finish. If you move now, they will tell you
everybody on this space. The reason I requested the mic was because of TAS. He said something about local governments now being. While he was speaking, I was with a local government chairman, my local government chairman, and I asked him that question directly, Mayor, is you couldn't receive your allocation directly? A local government allocation. So, which means the money doesn't come directly to them. So, when some of these guys come to tell us, oh, there's now a local government, why I agree that the local government chairmen have responsibility to provide. Let it not be, political propaganda. Meanwhile, those who are saddled with responsibility of these various council areas do not have that freedom to actually control their funding and use it. Many failures of this administration is the fact that the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Development, that used to be headed by Beta Edu, is no longer functional. This ministry under Buhari alleviated poverty and rebuilt lives, got stipends, got even funding to start their business. And today, when I see those women, and see how they are faring, I feel happy. Beta Edu came, started doing something, but all of a sudden she was sacked. Today, that ministry is not doing anything. Now, the question is, why is the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian and Social Development not doing anything? They have a new minister who is only engaged in workshop and capacity building programs that has no direct bearing to the sufferings of millions of Nigerians who need support from the federal government. I saw a video about an hour ago, here on Twitter. These boys, that their life is almost drifting apart, to get them back on track. Tunde Onokaya is trying, but what is federal government doing to ensure that the lives of these young men, are put back on track? These guys could be willing for politicians to execute whatever political political ambition they have, other than the voting that we know that intervening in the economic crisis that is bedwelling the country today. He has failed to alleviate the suffering of ordinary Nigerians, and I am calling on him to get that ministry working. Let that ministry work for Nigerians, because that is the only ministry I've seen that directly impacts the lives of ordinary Nigerians.
Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it. Matt, are you still here?
No, I'm the one. Oh, please let me quickly do just 2 minutes, please.
Hold on. Somebody wanted to ask a question to him.
Working in the hospital, diabetes,
and then gangrene, amputation, and all that. You need to cut off the leg so that to save the patient. So I want to ask that guy in that hospital where you are currently. I'm also a pharmacist, and I've had the opportunity of working in the hospital before going into industry. There is no single functional federal hospital. So that hospital where I do that